All right, so last week you guys headed off to the farm. You fixed all sorts of problems for the old lady who ran the farm there with her farm hands. Got killed by rats, got beat up by grasshoppers, almost got killed by centipedes, got knocked unconscious by a chicken. It's good times. Good times. You know, we started this game and I haven't heard Tony check in that we were ready to start. T, you there?
I'm here. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I've just been listening because everyone's stories were so funny.
Okay, that's fine. I just didn't want to start rolling before.
Halfway in, we realized Philbert's not there. Oh, that's not
Right.
unusual.
Yes, true.
Just
Speaking
catatonic.
speaking of Filbert, just a funny side note. I have been informed by one of the young ladies I work with who plays D&D with us that she's listened to our first episode 0 and episode 1, and she said I am not allowed to kill Filbert. She said he is too sweet of a little boy.
Oh no.
Which I found to be terribly amusing, and I said, "Well, we'll just see what the dice say." And she said, "You tell them to say something else." And I just thought it was funny. So, after last week's adventure, how are you guys feeling? Othig, what's going on in Othig's head?
He just wants to find a way to craft a good quality spear. He's just cares about people's weapons, cares about the group's weapons. Just wants to hammer on some spears. Make the spear that he knows is hanging out there in his mind.
Yeah. Mav. What's going on with Mav?
Mav's concerned about the chief provisioner. Doesn't really know what's going on there, but he's worried. If one of us is in trouble, it's easy enough to spread to others of us.
That's true.
Or it puts you in a position where you're willing to do something that you might not normally be willing to do.
That's true. Yep. How about Thanik?
Thanik is really out that all his family keeps coming close to death. Last week was that was what, a week ago? Is that
Yeah,
what it was?
It was about a week ago.
Was incredibly stressful for him because every time we turned around, somebody's bleeding out.
Mav would actually second that. It was very stressful.
Yeah. I mean, you watched as Othig toppled off of a roof. Those shingles let slide underneath him, and that guy went over the edge, right on his head.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not a good day.
Yeah, I'd say he was more distraught about the constant underperformance for fighting, but still okay with it. I mean, it happens. Just wanted to help his allies, you know?
Does happen. Filbert. How's Filbert?
I am going to figure out how to make that chicken my friend.
That particular chicken.
Yes, because I've found out now, it's been a week, not all chickens are that mean. Just
Well, here's where you should start. It was the rooster, not a chicken. That might be your first problem.
Sure.
It's a boy chicken.
Right. He doesn't have a boy part. That's confusing. So finding out what's wrong with that chicken, because I'm fairly certain it's something in his diet. The second thing is I am looking everywhere for more dryad holes. Every cave we come across now clearly has one living inside. So
You just want to be kissed by a dryad, don't you?
You have no idea how good that felt. So there's that. And then
don't
the
let that
last
feeling
thing
grow up on
is he is learning more about his moon rock, and that's basically where he
All right. Sounds good. So,
Mike, I have one question real quickly.
absolutely.
You gave myself and Othig advantage inspiration on one attack.
Yes.
Is that advantage,
Yes.
inspiration, or advantage and inspiration on
No.
one attack?
Oh yeah, you gave that to me for a
Yep.
a skill check.
It's treat it as you were given an inspiration, and the kind you have is advantage on one attack,
Okay.
or whatever,
Okay.
Advantage on one skill check, that type of
Okay.
stuff. That's what's going on there. So, all right, so you guys, let's open up with our cutscene for the evening.
Did we have a long rest? Are we healed?
Oh yeah,
up?
you're totally healed up. Do I need to do that in the combat tracker?
I mean, it's not really a big deal because I don't think anyone has any spells. So.
No. I'll do it anyways. We'll reset the combat rounds. You guys survived 7 rounds of combat last week.
Jeez.
Also, we only have 1 hit dice, although it says you have 2. I'm assuming
I don't
that
think
would
we
be how
have any.
Mike rules it.
Yeah, I don't think you guys get to spend any hit dice as commoners. If I
No?
remember right. I don't think so.
I thought you got 1.
I thought you just got hit points. Maybe. Well, somebody can take a quick peek at the sheet here while
I'll
we do.
gander.
So, your opening cutscene this week. The room is full of bones. Some of them are placed in urns and piled in stone boxes that line the walls of the rooms. Others are laid out on shelves. There are hundreds and hundreds of years of people's bones in this room. Something moves up ahead. It's not large, but it's black and it's fast. It darts through the air, then another and another. Something is coming. There is shrieking, a sound that pierces your ears, and a small black creatures fly out of the darkness. So we're going to open this week with a sad event. You guys are all sleeping in the morning. You're in your tents.
Is Filbert dead?
Filbert is not dead.
Oh.
There is the sound of the camp bell being rung at a very strange cadence and a very odd time of the morning. It's very early. Most dwarves are very early risers, but this is before light. And the cadence of the bell means that someone has died.
That's no good.
Yeah.
Is this from
I
the
guess
city,
this
or is this the clan's doing? Like,
This is
what's the context here?
this is in the clan camp.
Okay, so we would recognize this bell because it's from the clan.
Yep. And most of you are old enough to have lived through the death of a clan member, a family member in town, in the contingent here.
Is this a bell or a gong?
It's a very deep bassy bell. It's not a gong.
Am I ringing it as well?
No, you're not ringing it.
I'll get up and rush out to go see what's going on.
I'd say I'd investigate it.
Yeah, I'm gonna join with everyone else as
Okay.
well.
You guys start popping out of your tents, and just about everybody is getting up and getting out of their tent. They all recognize the sound for the most part as well. A few of the younger dwarves, Filbert's age, don't really know what's going on. They haven't experienced this yet, but they are, for the most part, out and looking about. But I shouldn't assume. Filbert, what are you doing when you hear this bell?
Probably going through my morning just ritual of sitting quietly and staring at my rock.
I feel like one of us would go and get him.
Okay. So one of you go and you fetch Filbert while everybody else kind of slowly gets up and gets dressed. It isn't like a call to action bell. Everybody kind of knows what's going on here. So they're curious and they're not dawdling, but no one's in a hurry to go find out who it is. That's kind of the mood that you're picking up on. The mood around the camp has gotten very somber. And you get to the camp center, and Orin is there, and he lets everybody know that Amkohm died last night in his sleep.
That would be the chief provisioner.
That
correct?
is
Yeah.
indeed the chief provisioner. So a couple people ask a few questions, and they ask things about the funeral and who's going to walk the escort, things like that. And Orin kind of diffuses all of those questions out, says those will be answered shortly. But first they have to take care of a few things, that he will be calling a meeting of the other clan elders very soon. And after that, people will start to disperse.
Um, how old was Amkohm?
Amkohm was the second oldest dwarf in the clan next to Orin. So he's pretty old.
So dying of natural causes wouldn't be out of the question.
No, nobody seemed shocked that
Okay.
that it happened. I mean, there's always shock when people pass, but it
But it's
wasn't.
not-
Yeah, it wasn't like he was 100.
Oh, okay.
Anybody else got anything they want to ask?
I would I'd just tell Oren that if he needs anything, just let me know.
Okay.
Same.
He would communicate that around. You guys would, and you go back about your business for the day, and stuff goes on in the camp. That night, the funeral is held. It's a pretty somber event for the most part. All the dwarves in the clan there are arranged. They circle around Amkohm's corpse, which is covered in a shroud, which is pretty unusual for dwarves to cover their corpses. I mean, dwarves die some pretty grisly deaths. You know, battle axes to the face, explosive vomiting from too much beer. You know, things that just really don't leave somebody in a good state. And here's Amkohm, and he's covered by a shroud. And so they're not showing his corpse off, and all the dwarves are arranged. You all get your spears off your carts, and you circle around him. And Orin gets up and gives a bit of a speech. And he says, "My cousin, Amkohm, and I were the two oldest members of this clan. And I've known him since we were both wee children. We talked about not having a lot of time left in this life, him and I, but it still feels abruptly short. His passing pierces me like this spear. Death comes to us all, friends. So we won't dwell on his absence. Instead, let's revel in his life." And when he says that, two other dwarves roll out barrels of beer, and a typical dwarven funeral starts. People start singing and playing instruments and celebrating Amkohm's life.
Filbert would like to take his broken spearhead and put it on the shroud.
Oh, okay. Your dad walks up to you and pats you on the shoulder, and he says, "Aye, Filbert, I know you're gonna miss Uncle Amkohm. He was nice to you, wasn't he?"
One of the few?
"Yeah, one of the few. Sad to see him go. Would you?"
Is this a uncommon way of the funeral being completed, or is this very common?
Oh, with what part? The beer?
Yeah.
Oh no, this is
in
common.
general.
This is
Okay.
common. Yeah, it is. This was a very stereotypical dwarven funeral. They lay out the body, they say a few nice things, and then they all get drunk.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
the only thing weird about it was his body being covered. So, Orin asks Filbert, "Phil, would you like to walk him to the tomb?"
Where do we bury our people? Do we just put them somewhere local, or do we have somewhere we travel to into?
There's a ceremonial burial rite, and this is what your dad is asking if you want to be part of. In Kren, there are charnel houses of the dead. It's basically a huge community burial house. They're large, and everyone is buried there. Everyone from nobility to slaves to criminals to your enemies. They all have separate places in there, and they're usually set off a good ways from a settlement, but you'll find them scattered about the places. And what normally happens is when somebody passes away in a settlement, a small group of people is elected to take their body to the burial house.
Okay. So would Filbert be around? Have ever been around for an actual death before?
Not of the clan members. You would have seen them, and you would have seen a few escorts happen during your time in the military. There's always accidents and people, not making it, but you wouldn't have seen a lot.
Do I also, the last question, do I know if it's an honor or not to be part of that walk?
It's a
Or
great
just
it's a
one day.
great honor to be part of that walk.
Do I know if Amkohm would have wanted me to be part of that walk, or if my dad is more or less asking because he wants to, or asking because Amkohm would have wanted.
I think that's yes to all of it. Your dad would love to see you take some dwarven pride in something, but Amcom was one of the only guys who you really felt like even had a chance of understanding you.
Okay. With that, I will happily do so, but kind of taking part in it in my own way, more or less, not necessarily, not discrediting any of the ceremony, but looking at it through the eyes of returning someone to the stone that we come from.
Yeah, definitely. And that's actually a big part of the reason why the burial house is underground and why the dwarves are so into it. The human side of the Kren Empire is into it, but not nearly as much. The dwarves, it's a big deal for you guys. So the next person Orin talks to is Mav. And he pulls you aside and says, I know keeping the books with Amcom was important to you. And this leaves a big hole in the clan. I would also like you to carry him.
Very well.
Good. Very good. And keep an eye on your brother. You know Filbert.
No guarantees.
He laughs about it. He says, you should probably take 2 others with you. I don't think I'll pick them. You two figure out who that's best to be.
I would say that we take Orla Sidri and Mozano. I think they'd be great choices.
You can't take them. I've got plans for them.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess Othig and...
Wait, where did
Anna.
you even see those people?
It's from the roster.
Yeah,
Yes.
but I don't see them in there.
They're the daughters of the chief provisioner.
Oh, okay.
That's really funny. So you guys all talk amongst yourselves. You'll be carrying Amcom. And that will start tomorrow morning. And it's a 2-day trip. It's a day there and then a day back.
Okay.
And sorry, where is this to?
To the charnel house, the burial house.
In cardinal direction again, sorry.
It's to the west.
Thanks.
Yep. It's a long trip, but it's for the most part it's down a major road. So the funeral's moving on. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
Pick up that healer kit.
Okay. That could definitely
Everybody
have been
can
done.
remove 2 gold from their inventory. Or no.
Oh yeah, how much did we get from the job last week?
I think
Was
you
it
each
1
got a
gold?
gold and a half. Yeah, you did, because that's the
Okay.
percentage cut of the 150.
And how much is the healer kit?
10 gold.
Okay. So we're all removing, well, 2.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you still have mine figured out, right, Andy?
Yep. I got yours right here.
So as the funeral is going on, is there anything else you guys would like to do?
I don't think so. I can't think of anything.
I think Filbert's just going to take time and kind of be near
Mm-hmm.
the body. He's really confused because he just saw this guy and he seemed fine, and it doesn't make sense to him that someone that's fine just dies.
Okay.
Like that doesn't process with Filbert. So he's just like spending time there. He's not going to touch anything unless he can tell that there's like nobody around. Then he might get curious. But he's just kind of mulling it over.
All right. You guys would know by this point in time, by the evening of the funeral, Amcom didn't die of natural causes. He was stung by a Reaper's servant, which is the area's most venomous scorpion.
Oh.
Yeah, it stung him in his sleep.
Aren't we resistant to poison?
You are.
We are.
Um,
And
it's
it still killed him.
it's not uncommon to find a Reaper servant this far west, but it's leaning towards rare. But they are seen out this way. It's pretty uncommon that somebody is stung to death by one, though. Just typically because they don't. They hide in places that people normally aren't.
So are you saying stung to death, like stung multiple times, or just like the poison would kill a dwarf anyway, even though they're resistant?
He was likely only stung once, and it's definitely enough to kill a dwarf. In fact, it's the reason he's covered, because the venom is so potent that within a day it starts to liquefy the soft tissue of a body.
Well, that's gross.
Okay. So I'm not sure if anyone else is thinking. I feel like Filbert probably is. Maybe this is metagaming a little bit, but I would want to investigate because that is weird. I think most people are probably thinking that it seems kind of weird, especially after the argument.
I was not a part of that conversation, so unless somebody shared that with me,
Well, we were all in the bar, weren't we? You were there.
nope.
Okay.
I took Phil home because he was dying.
Okay. I would want to investigate because I would think it's weird based on, him being dead all of a sudden and seeing that argument last night, even though I was kind of drunk last night too. But I would want to investigate it as much as I could. I'd want to talk to other clan members.
Sure. Is there anybody in specific you'd like to talk to?
I don't know who I could talk to first, only because, I don't know who else was in the bar. I can't remember who else was Mav?
Mav
wasn't
in the
there.
bar. Yep.
Okay, so at least Mav, and then any other dwarves that would have been with us at the bar. I guess some of the older clan members who would have.
Sure. You begin to ask around, and a lot of the clan members were in the bar the other night. Like a whole lot of them, actually. It's kind of one of those things that that a lot of the dwarves do after work every night as they head off for the tavern. And many of them saw the argument, although nobody knows who that guy was. Amkohm didn't introduce him to anybody, and they left shortly after you approached to see what was going on and offered to buy that guy a beer.
No one in the clan knows who he was, is what you're saying, right?
Correct.
Are we still in the same place, or did we
I think
we move on?
just find out if anyone
you're same
from
place.
the bar.
Okay.
Yep, you're still in the same place. So you want to head off to the tavern to find out who that was?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. You sneak out of the funeral and head down to the tavern. It's not a long walk at all. It's maybe 15 minutes. And tavern's pretty lively this time of night. Barkeeper's there. He's busy. The guy is actually in the tavern.
Does he notice me?
No, he's sitting in the corner. Looks like he's talking to some other dwarves that are not part of your clan.
What I would recognize what clan they're from.
Yes, you would. He's talking to Red Rock dwarves.
What's the Graniteback relationship with Red Rock dwarves?
It's not good.
Why?
You guys have been consistent political rivals over the course of your clans' existences, and several times the Granitebacks have pushed the Red Rocks out of power.
Okay, here's what I'd like to do.
I'd like to rage.
No, I would not like to rage. Actually, just the exact opposite. What I would like to do is basically make it look like I, recognized him from the other day. I I want to approach him and just say, I'm not sure what the argument was, but just tell him that I didn't get a chance to give him that drink and give him that drink and just see what happens after that.
Okay. So you buy him his drink and you deliver it and let him know. And he looks at you and doesn't speak. And then he looks at the three dwarves he's talking to, and the one sitting between the other two. Two of these guys look like guards, and one of them is dressed as a noble. And the noble says, "That's a dwarf that has sense." And he takes that guy's drink and drinks it. The one that you just bought for that guy.
What did he say?
He says that he looks at you and points at you and says, "Now you're a dwarf that has sense."
It's interesting. I was really not expecting someone else to drink his drink, but...
Yep. And then you're still standing there, and this dwarf looks at you and says, "Can I help you?"
I'm just gonna... I guess I don't want to be disrespectful here. The dwarf is asking me that?
Yep.
I'm just going to tell him that I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I just didn't get a chance to catch the noble's name from last night and just see if I can get his name, and that I wanted to buy him a drink, which is now being drunk by another dwarf.
You say that, and the other guy, the guy you bought the drink for, he's a human. He's not a dwarf.
Oh, okay.
You say that you wanted to buy this other noble a drink, and the dwarf who drank the drink just starts laughing and slamming his hand on the counter, and he looks at him and he says he thinks you're a noble. Ha! Ha! And then he finishes the drink you bought for that guy. And he says, "That bloke there works for me."
Gosh, maybe I got this backwards. Who are the dwarves and who is the noble here?
The dwarf who drank the drink is the noble. He just told you that the guy, the human that Amkohm was arguing with, works for him.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, I mean the human is probably a little bit more regally dressed then as well, which is why we thought he was a noble.
He's well dressed, that's for sure.
Yeah, okay. I didn't get his name though.
You did not.
I'd want to say something like we thought we knew everyone who Amkohm worked with, but we didn't know who you.
And he looks at you and he says, "Now what's this got to do with old Amkohm?"
So I would just want to act surprised, and I guess in this situation, I just want to see how he reacts now, since he's asking, and this is actually exactly where I wanted this to go. I just want to see how he reacts to hearing that Amkohm's dead.
Okay. You let him know that he's dead, and he makes a sour face. And he says, "Well, that's not good. That's not good at all." And the human guy leans forward and he says, "This could be good, though." And the dwarf looks at him and he says, maybe so."
I would probably take offense to that, I would imagine.
No, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Probably take offense to that.
So, yeah, I would... I'm not, like, trying to start a fight here, but I guess I would want to be a little bit more stern and wondering why he thinks that is good.
You see, old Amkohm, he owed me and my clan a lot of money. He bought a mine from us, he did. And when it went south on him, he thought he just didn't need to pay. And so, this could work in my favor business-wise. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm sorry if I offended you. It's always a tragedy to see a dwarf go. But, gold is gold, my friend. Is there anything else you're needing?
I mean, there's not really anything else that I would need because I think I found out what I wanted to. So
Okay.
I just tell him thanks for his time. I guess. I just really wanted to buy him a drink. So
he stands up as you go to leave, and he thanks you for the drink, and he gives you a nod.
I think after this, I probably want to go talk with Mav about the books and just find out about that whole purchasing a mine thing.
Okay. Mav, there is no record of Amkohm purchasing a mine in the books.
A mine?
A mine.
Okay.
And you would find that to be a very unusual.
Because I'm assuming it would have been purchased for the group and not for himself.
Correct. And so that's just not what you guys have done since you've been a traveling caravan. You haven't bought property, so the purchase of a mine would be really odd.
Would he have the funds to purchase it for himself?
Possibly. He's an older dwarf. He's been around a long time. He's been around since some of the older wars, and he may have had funds stashed away. It's just hard to say.
I might have missed this, but did he purchase it for a reason?
We don't know.
Okay. I would relay that information to the others.
Filbert's been thinking.
Okay. What's Filbert been thinking?
He wants to know if they found the scorpion that killed his uncle.
They did. It was still in his bed, under the blankets. They smushed it with a hammer.
So it is dead.
Yes, it is definitely dead.
I would like to collect it.
They have destroyed it in a fire. They
Well,
don't.
that's not how you're supposed to do that.
No, they would not leave. Even a dead Reaper servant is still deadly. Were somebody to get pricked by its stinger or to ingest it or even one of the animals, it would still kill them.
What do we know about Reaper servants? Are they like, is that typical for them to be alone? Is it typical for them to, like, if we see one, is it likely that there's more? Is it typical that they would sting someone and then just hang around?
You know quite a bit about them. It's the style of ice scorpion that's on the flag. It's honored in the nation because of how deadly it is. Okay. Typically, you only see them on the other side of Angel Lake, and then off to the southeast, where it's actual desert on this side. They're very common across the ocean, across the inner sea in the southern Kren Empire, but they're a nesting scorpion. So if you find one, it's very likely there are others nearby. But they're also a scorpion that likes to hide. They like to hide in boxes and crates and things like that. And so it's also equally possible that this thing you guys just picked up somewhere, it had been in a crate and got out.
Okay. Is anybody going around checking the crates?
Yes.
For any more?
There's already been the start of inspections looking for nests or things. And these are not small scorpions. They're by no means a giant scorpion, but they're pretty big. They're tarantula-sized scorpions.
Okay.
Is there anything else you guys would like to do?
Did he have like a did he have a deed to the mine or anything like that?
That you'd have to go ask his family about. So, I mean, you can if you want.
No, not right now.
Okay. Any other pieces of the investigation you guys would like to carry out?
Do we want to bring this up to Orin? Does he know anything about this?
You don't know.
Do we want to bring it up to him, or do we want to wait till we have more evidence? I mean, is he? What we know about Orin, is he likely to be dismissive about something like that, or is he likely to be open-eared?
Mav would be able to tell you that his dad loves to pretend to be dismissive about important things and then begin to check on them.
Okay, so why don't you guys, since you're his kids, bring it up to him? Ask him if he
Filbert
knows
doesn't
anything
know about
it.
any of that.
No, Filbert's oblivious to that.
Okay.
I will take care of that.
Okay, so Mav, you go and you tell your dad the few things that Othig found, and he doesn't act dismissive at all. He looks very concerned about the whole thing, and he asks if you could do him a favor. And he says, I know this will be late tonight, but I'd like you to look through his things and paperwork before you leave in the morning.
Of course.
So you get set up in a corner of Orin's Vardo, and Amkom's things are brought in. And, they're brought in by his wife and a couple of the older kids. And they ask what's going on. And Orin just says that you're going to help put all the stuff in order because of the tragedy. And it's a pretty straightforward, simple lie, and it's actually kind of not untrue. You will likely be leaned on quite heavily until a new chief provisioner is elected. But so you start to do this stuff for him, and you going through it takes you a couple hours. You don't find any mention of a mine. What you do find, and it's odd, one of the things that gets brought over is Amkom's personal journal. And you flip through it real quick. You decide not to read a lot of the personal stuff. You're just skimming for keywords like mine and red rock. You know what you're looking for. And you get to the last page, and it looks like whatever he was writing stops in mid-sentence. And he mentions the Red Rock emissary. It says, Othig approached me while I was arguing with the Red Rock emissary. He asked me if everything... That's the end of it. Stops mid-sentence, and it looks like there's a spilled glob of ink on this page, and then that the journal was closed.
Okay.
I mean, so that was so close to, happening, obviously. That could have either been, I don't know.
Well, it had to have been last night.
Well, this was wait. How long ago did this? What
Last
happened?
night.
No, what happened last game session was a week ago, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
And he died last night. So there's 5 or 6 days in between.
Oh, you're saying like if he journaled it that night, or if he journaled it last night.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, is there? I'm not there.
Well, the ink is still pretty sticky, so you feel like this was journaled last night. The spilled ink point.
So was the blood drop? Did that look like it? I mean, I'm assuming a puncture from the scorpion would not draw a lot of blood.
It's an ink drop, not a blood drop. Did I say blood?
Oh,
No, he said ink.
Did you say ink? Okay.
Yeah, right at the
Yeah,
end
you-
of where
you
he
said
was
it.
writing, it looks like ink was spilled into the journal, and then instead of cleaning it up, it looks like the journal was just closed.
Okay. Hmm. And there's no other information about it.
Nope. That's the first time that there was any mention of the Red Rock emissary at all.
Would you be able to post at some point what that journal said in Discord?
I'll do it right now. I didn't write much of it. I just wrote the last sentence.
That's fine.
So
I would just follow up with mi padre and let him know what we found in the journal.
okay. All right. He thinks that's
and I'd
very
wanna-
odd.
I'd want to tell him about the conversation that I had at the bar earlier in the day.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I would bring the thing around.
All right. If all the you give Orin all the information, and he gets even more visibly bothered by it, and he says that Roddick is no good. He's a rot if there's ever been one. Red Rocks. And then it looks like he's gonna spit on the ground, and then you look over and Mom's looking at him, so he stops, and he says, I'm very bothered by all this business, boys. This business with the journal. That's not like Amkohm to ever leave anything undone at all. Not even not a sentence. He's definitely not going to leave spilled ink in his journal. There's something afoot. Man, he's making a face. Doesn't know what else he wants to say. He says, I'm going to need to sleep on this. You four need to get ready to take the walk tomorrow.
Yeah.
Um,
It's late at night, right?
It's getting there. It's probably creeping up on midnight.
Okay. It's what's the travel time? Like, how long is it going to take us to get there and get back?
It's just shy of a day's walk, so you'll be gone 2 days.
So he'll have 2 days to think about this until we get back to be able to talk to him.
Correct.
Okay.
All right. So before you guys go to sleep, is there anything else you'd want to do?
Phil's just gonna. I don't think he's gonna leave his uncle's side. He's really like this whole thing really just has him confused. So it's unnatural, and that just doesn't make sense.
Okay. So
Hey, Mike.
yeah,
Would they still be the Red Rock dwarf and the emissary guy? Would they maybe still be at the bar?
they might be.
I think the last thing that I'd want to find out is I'd want to just I'm not gonna. I'll try to do this the way that we're trying to do things. I'd want to go there and just try to see what more information I could find out about his quote unquote debt with the mine. Like if it was supposed to belong to him, and like what the context of all this was, to see what else I could find out.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to find out more information.
Sure. You go
I would
back.
join him to find out if there's any paperwork or anything to verify the claims.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I think Adam, was that you in the background?
I was gonna suggest Mav go with him because
Sure.
he's the one who's doing all the paperwork, so it would look legitimate.
Always willing to have somebody else go do the work.
Yeah. You're the freaking provisioner. It would make sense that you're like, hey, we need to settle debt. So how much is it?
All right.
Uh-huh.
You guys head down to the tavern, and they are just leaving as you're approaching. So you do manage to catch him. You go up to him and you ask him, what do you want to ask him first? If Like,
My first question would probably be whether or not it is if he purchased it on behalf of himself or if he purchased it on behalf of the clan.
okay. Make a persuasion check. He says, "Listen, I was kind to you before. I don't like the tone you're taking now. You come down here right after Amkohm dies. Sounds like you're being very accusatory."
Mav would apologize. That's not how he's trying to portray it. He's trying to get the information so that they know how to go forward. This is unlike how Amkohm would normally act.
I agree. I feel like as commoners, like, I guess I'm thinking, like, I don't want to be accusatory. I'd be more, I'm actually more worried that, especially the comment that he made before that this could be good for business. That's actually got me bothered. I would want to find out if there's some sort of debt that needs to be paid, whether or not, like, we could actually understand what that is now or not, to try and have it settled so that it didn't, like, hurt us in any way. And I would want him to know that I'm afraid, like, they're out for the clan, and see what their reaction is to that. But, like, I'm just more of the mindset, like, if there's a debt that needs to be paid, whether or not it's real or that we could even find out, like, if it's like 3 gold, and I know I have 3 gold on me, like, I'm going to pay that.
Okay. So you guys get a little apologetic. You let him know that you're just doing the research so that you can possibly, settle debts. That's what's interesting you, is that if there is a debt, that you'll settle it. You take the commoner approach. You're dealing with a noble who has been kind to you so far, and he looks at you and he says, "It's okay. I've been drinking, like we do, and it's late. I'll tell you boys what. I'll put all the paperwork together, and after you get everything settled with Amkom's affairs, you come see me in my office, and we'll go over the business side of things. How's that sound, huh?"
Yeah, we'd be glad to do. I'd be glad to do that.
Mav would be happy to do that.
Yeah, he's acting very amicably. You definitely think that he's trying to play fair with you.
Very fair.
Very, very, very fair. So -5 fair. That's a terrible roll, man.
That is the absolute worst I could do.
Yeah. Well, no, you could have a -7. Like, don't sell yourself short.
No, because I get the +2. I have proficiency.
All right. So, you guys head back to the camp, tucking yourselves in for the night, or doing anything else? It is now
Mav's gonna
close to
spend
1
some
o'clock.
time researching Amkom's writing.
Okay.
And the absolute, that's an awesome idea. Holy cow. I didn't even think about that. The last thing that I want to do is go and talk to Oren about the conversation that we just.
Okay. Oren suggests that you don't poke your nose too far into business any further.
I'll just tell him that we were trying to be good.
He knows and he appreciates it. But he says that the Red Rocks are politically dangerous. That they've been out, they're gunning for the high seat on the Dwarven ruling council, and so right now you could get yourself in some trouble pretty quick if you're not careful.
I'll apologize, and I'll just tell him that we'll definitely come see him first after the couple days when we get back, before we go and chat with him.
Okay. He thanks you, sends you on your way, and off to sleep.
Filbert's gonna spend the evening at least talking to his uncle.
That's the saddest thing I've ever heard. I'm sure.
I'm just going to. I'm gonna go check on Phil because he's been gone all day, basically. and make sure he's doing okay.
You would,
Yeah, go ahead.
you'd probably walk in as he's pressing the moonstone against his uncle's forehead through the shroud, just saying, "Why won't it work?"
Have you? Okay.
When you come in and he notices you, he's gonna throw it at you
That's fine.
because he's really mad at this rock.
Yeah, no, I get it. That's fine. How long? This is background information that I would probably know. How long were you in the military?
I don't know that.
2 years.
My cousin was 2 years.
2 years. Yep. Was it a time of peace? A time of war? Was there any battles? Like, have you ever experienced death before?
Yes, he had
Accidental death.
Yep.
All natural, my guess.
Yeah, there was a couple of people in his time during the military, a few that died in basic training, a couple other accidents and things of that nature, but it's the first one that I think it'd be fair to say is close to Phil.
Okay. So I would just offer up, whatever he needs. I mean, he's functionally my little brother going through real death for the first time. And it sucks. And I just want to make sure he's doing okay.
Phil would just explain that this isn't how it's supposed to happen. He would explain that like he thinks he knows.
I would probably 100% agree with him. This is absolutely not the way it's supposed to go.
Yeah. Like it's a sad thing for a dwarf to be killed by something like this, to die in a battle or a construction accident or a peaceful old age in front of a roaring fire with malt beer and red meat off the bone. That's how a dwarf is supposed to go. Not
right. We're resistant to poison. This is like a slap in the face.
Yeah,
This is
bad.
I mean, yeah, it really is. I mean, it really is just an insult. It's a let's find the most insulting way to kill this person.
He's like, you idiots have to drink twice as much because we're resistant.
Yeah.
And you're a bug. A little bug. A squished bug.
I mean, let's poison him in his sleep. Like, he can't even fight back to that.
And it is, just to make it worse, it is the only scorpion of a normal variety, a non-monstrous variety of scorpion, that could kill a dwarf with a sting. It's the only one that could do it. Others, there'd be a lot of pain involved. They might succumb to it if they were weakened already, but no. This one, the Reaper's servant, gets you.
Yeah.
But if it was a human, they'd already be a puddle of mush and bones.
Yeah, but we're not weak humans.
Yeah, right.
No, so I mean, for whatever it takes, if that means just sitting there silently accompanying Phil, while he goes through his process, like I'd be fine to stay up all night and take an exhaustion point.
Dude, all right. Phil, you're gonna stay there all night?
I will likely sleep at some point in time, but he's basically just going to be angrily talking to his uncle and asking him why for quite a while. And since the moonstone thing didn't work, he's just going to try and find other ways. He has no idea what to do.
All right.
He wants to fix it.
So you guys spend the night outside at the funeral site. You get enough rest to where I won't inflict exhaustion on you, but you need to make sure you get good rest the next night, or else you'll be in trouble. Okay. And so the next morning, the dwarves assemble again. You four have been elected, chosen, or asked to accompany during the walk, and there will be 4 of you that take him. So they put together basically a funeral litter, a stretcher type deal that they put him on, and they put a waxed tarp below him because he's gonna start leaking soon.
Yep. Yep.
So gross.
Why don't we burn our dead?
Well,
we probably do, just haven't gotten there yet.
You do. Oren explains to you how how this is supposed to work. He says, when you get to the burial house, you'll have to go inside of it. There's a lot of magic that goes into these places, so don't be weirded out by it. The doors will open on their own when you approach with a body. There's darkness cast over the burial pits, so you won't be able to see down in them to see all the bodies that are there before. But don't fall in them. They're hundreds of feet deep, and they're full of bones. But once you get inside, it'll be pretty obvious where you need to go. There's a large furnace, so you cremate his flesh, and then you take his bones to the dwarven burial pit and intern him there.
And we'll know which one is the dwarven burial pit house?
They're marked. He said that
Okay.
the entire house is pretty clearly marked. The first pits are for commoners that have no station or have lost honor, for slaves, for enemies. They're kind of, to some degree, a statement of a trophy type room because there's a lot of enemies that have been buried there. But it's also where they get rid of slaves and criminals as well. So, but it's large, so don't be off put by it. And then the dwarves and the humans' burial grounds are further in and clearly marked. You guys have any other questions?
It's just the four of us going. There's no other.
That's tradition.
Guides
There are 4 carriers, 4
Okay.
bearers.
And as long as we know where we're going, like we have a map or whatever.
Yep, he explains it to you really well. There's you take this road out of the area west. It's a road that goes to a fortress that's up in the mountains, but at about the 7-hour walk mark, you're going to see an obelisk on the road, and there'll be a fork. Take the North Fork. That'll lead you straight to the quarry that the charnel house is in.
Okay.
He said you really shouldn't miss it unless you're not paying any attention at all.
All right. Well, let's hope one of
So,
us is.
Filbert,
Do you guys have any other questions?
I don't think so.
All right. Then the last thing you need to do is put on your armor. They go into the wagons and they pull out leather armor, and they make sure your guys' spears are ready and sharp because this is a very Krenish event. So he served in the military like all Kren do, and so he will be buried with that style of honor that's part of the march. So you guys get leather armor today.
Oh, nice. Do we get shields too?
You do not get shields.
Okay.
Is that leather armor different than the leather armor I'm already wearing?
It is, but yours is acceptable if you want to keep your special leather armor.
I will, yes.
Yeah. It's the idea of being armored in a Krenish fashion, not so much the exact armor you wear.
Is that just? Should we just grab armor out of the items?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Just
Or-
regular leather.
Yep, or just know that your AC is 1 higher right now. And then unless there's anything else you guys want to do before you set out, we'll head out down the road.
I think that's it for me.
Let's
I
go.
don't have anything else
access
I'm
to-
want
We
to.
leveled up, right?
Yeah,
we
you're level
leveled-
2.
Yeah.
Do we have access to those things now, Mike?
What things?
The abilities that come with the feet.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
Make
would
sure-
have absolutely had some like vines and some moss and stuff grow in a way that would prevent
Leaking.
leakage for longer
Yes.
on my uncle.
Okay. You guys...
Soaking up the leakage.
Yeah.
The shroud definitely would have helped conceal some of that going on, but as you guys get him onto the litter and you get ready to transport him, you see he's covered in mushrooms and moss and vines, and Filbert's just looking very proud of himself about the whole thing.
No dwarf should be covered in mushrooms.
It's
You guys should all have 7 hit points, unless your constitution is higher than that.
Yeah.
all right. So then, without further ado, you guys head west out of the Maker's Palm. You walk for about another 4 hours, and there's still farm fields and greenish grass, and then that starts to fade away and give way to rockier and craggier hills. You start to see more small canyons, and often the way ahead is obscured by these types of geographical features as the road begins to weave its way through them. The road no longer is as straight as it was down in the Palm. It's getting hotter and drier the further west you go. And you begin to see large birds circling in the air above you.
Are they peritons?
They are
can't pick
not
up
peritons.
No. Are they common or peritons?
There is no such thing.
Hold on, I have to answer a question. All right. So you guys continue on. You do see the large birds, and then all of a sudden, 3 of them begin swooping down at you, and they're far larger than you originally thought. These creatures come down upon you, and you realize you've seen these creatures before. They're griffins, and you've seen them in the streets used by the military, and they land like almost right in front of you. And there are 3 dwarves riding these griffins. And they're in full like military Kren armor. They're all carrying their spears, and they hop off. And one of them, who's obviously in command, he's got several commendations emblazoned on his armor, asks who you are and what your business is on the road this far from town.
Do we recognize what clan they're from?
No, because they're not wearing any clan emblems.
But they're soldiers, right?
They are soldiers.
So
Matt
us all.
would
go
explain.
Okay. So, Mav, you step forward and you explain, and he looks and he says, Mav, me Graniteback, that you?
It is.
And he
Alright.
pops off his helmet, and this is a Telrin Bluestone. He is another dwarf that served at the same time you served.
Oh,
And
Talron.
and he
Of
says,
course that'd be you.
he says, aye, lad. You burying one of yours, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's terrible. Yeah, sorry to hear that. Sorry if we gave you such a fright. There's been a lot of bandit activity in the area lately.
How could you mistake us for bandits?
It's just my job. And he kind of looks back and he looks around and he says, honestly, we haven't seen anybody for 3 days and we were bored.
Typical.
So he warns you to make sure you stick to the road and be quick about what you're doing, because he wasn't kidding about the bandits. There has been bandit activity in the area lately, and that's why the Griffin Riders are out here on the hunt.
I would ask him what kind of bandits they are.
He said as far as he knows, it's just a couple of criminals who've fled justice and that are hiding in the hills, so they're taking advantage of anybody who heads out this way, so they can continue to try and survive.
Would they just want to maybe see if we'll be attacked on the road and provide support? Maybe we'll be a target and they might end up catching them because we're on this journey through where they're trying to look for bandits anyway. I mean, if they have nothing else to do.
He says,
we're commoners. Like, I highly doubt we want to tussle with bandits.
We can be bait.
Yeah, he kind of likes that idea of you guys being bait. So he says that if you guys don't mind, since you're headed this way anyways and there's nothing you can do about it, they'll just kind of watch from a distance to see if any trouble is caused.
Yeah, we would appreciate the support and protection.
Just don't make it too far of a distance.
He says, don't worry about that. Can't be burying any more Granitebacks. Good clan, the Granitebacks.
Who's this guy?
His name is, what was his name? Thelrin Bluestone.
Bluestone.
we can give him a background. His great grandfather was a Graniteback, but married out of the clan into the Bluestone clan. That's a pretty normal thing to do. So, but
Andy, are you already typing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yep. So he's a Griffin Rider now, which that's a pretty high honor in the Kren military.
Yeah.
So he's done well for himself.
And in less time than it took you, Mav.
Ah, that kind of showboating wasn't for me.
No, you like to showboat your books. It's weird.
So Thelrin gets on his griffin and looks back at you and says, "Showboating, huh? Oh, we'll see who's boating what when I come and save your bacon from those bandits."
Ah, it's only because you couldn't find him yet.
Yeah, maybe.
You always did need a little extra help.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give him a good old dwarvish slug on the back and thank
he appreciates it, and the Griffin Riders are off and position themselves low, flying over the hills far a bit to the southeast of you guys. So you continue. What?
I just said cool.
All right. So you guys
I'm
continue.
gonna start saying, "Oh, woe is me! I'm so rich and weak."
You guys continue to carry Amkohm, and at one point in time, after only about a half an hour further than where you were before, you see the griffins come flying overhead of you, and then take a sharp right and dive down behind some hills. You continue to walk forward unless you'd like to stop.
Nope.
All right.
Continue on.
You continue forward, and sure enough, you find your Griffin Riders camped out on the carcasses of 6 bandits.
Nice.
And so you have a brief discussion about that, and they're thankful that you were able to help them in setting up a trap for these bandits. They look forward to loading them onto a cart and having them dumped in the Carnal House in not too terribly long.
I would ask if any of them sustained any wounds.
No, actually, they came out of it pretty okay. They caught the bandits by surprise. The bandits were out on a hillside watching you guys, and so they flew down fast enough and were able to land and attack them before they even had a chance really to get ready to attack.
I am going to mention that I'm recently. Are we discharged from basic? How does that work?
Basically, you volunteer for 2 years, quote unquote volunteer, and then you can choose to stay, which is a very honorable thing to do, or you can go back to your home.
So I'm going to quote a completely non-existent and illogical book, chapter, and number and cite it as mentioning payment for bait for disposal of banditry, and then just stare at Mavamine like, all right, you're...
So obviously you have confused everybody. Please make a persuasion check.
Yeah, Mavamine, go ahead.
No.
It's
Phil.
funny because I was going to suggest the same thing, and then you started talking first.
Way better coming from...
So you want me to tell them that they need to pay us?
Get him.
Filbert, everybody looks at you and starts laughing. And not in a mean sort of way. And like you get the feeling, and maybe you got this idea because you've seen other people do it while they were serving, that quoting some sort of regulation or stipulation is often seen as a joking type way to get your own way. And because not rumor has it, but traditionally there are a lot of regulations in the Kren military. And there's a lot of ways to do things, and so people would just make them up all the time, and sometimes they seem to just stick. Everybody laughs, and then nobody pays you.
I would. So would their bodies be lootable, or is that
Not by us.
No, because all of their gear is going to be resold at auction, and then
Okay.
the proceeds from that will be given to the people that they've robbed. They'll do what they can to recover people's losses.
It's like
Okay.
you're all like, hey, does the bait get a cut?
Yeah.
Well, the bait was wondering if he could get a dagger or something for when he throws his spear.
No, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to get anything from these guys.
That's okay.
All right, so you guys continue on down the road, and you find the obelisk that you're looking for. There's a fork in the road. There's the obelisk. The road turns north.
Let's go north.
Carry on.
All right, you start to head north, and the road here really starts to wind quite a bit. It goes north, and then it turns back west. Then it goes north again and turns east, and it's working its way back and forth and downward somewhat. The country here is very, very craggy and hilly, and as the sun starts to set, you guys make perception checks.
Filbert rolled a 1.
13.
Yikes.
-5.
Is that everybody?
Besides Andy.
Mav didn't,
Mav. I need a perception
but he
check.
took the dog. He wants to take the dog out.
Oh, okay. Then I'm gonna roll.
I mean,
one.
you can roll for him, I
I'm
guess.
gonna. That's terrible. That's an 8. So none of you see them coming, but right before they attack, you hear shrieking, and you turn around, and there are 2 very large vultures coming down and attempting to chase you away from Uncle Amkom's corpse. And you're gonna need to roll initiative.
I throw my rock at them.
Jeez.
It wasn't quite delivered like Adam, but I like it. Gonna need you to roll initiative.
Oh, I thought you meant throw the rock at him. I was like,
No, the initiative thing. You kidding? That's a meme that's gonna live on forever.
Then we'll wait for Andy to get back so he can roll initiative. And I'm sharing a map with you guys so you can see where you're rolling initiative.
Do these vultures look hungry, or do they look aggressive towards us?
They are definitely aggressive. They're vultures. They always look hungry. They look hungry and bored. They don't know what they're going to do tonight.
It's like they're making plans every day.
So what do you want to do? I don't know. What you want to do? They're having that conversation.
Yeah, totally.
Let's see. You guys would all be walking side by side. Oh. I can fix your token, I think.
Actually, it doesn't matter if it is aggressive or not. Okay.
I didn't even hear Andy say he was taking the dog out.
He just
He
typed
did.
it.
yeah, I
this
put it in
way.
chat.
Oh. Well, that would make some sense.
Oh, my question never got answered that I put in chat. What do the Red Rocks do for business?
Oh, they have their fingers in a lot of different business. Everything from mining operations to weapon trade. The right kind of weapon trade. Yeah. They own a lot of stuff. They're fairly large property owners in the north.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Othic's pretty huge.
What do you mean Ophic's huge?
What happened?
On the map, Othic is pretty huge.
On
I
our
have
map, he's normal.
Same, yeah, I
Oh,
have the same
really?
size as
Oh,
everyone.
that's weird. When I scroll into the map, his icon stays the same size, but he's super big.
That is
Well,
weird.
that's not someone's playing with the size, but
Yeah, no, he's like, if I scroll all the way out, he is literally the entire size of the road.
that's awesome.
Yeah, and if I scroll in all the way, like his relative size stays the same.
It's really weird.
But he's
That's
but he's
not
also the only one on the map.
That's all four of you guys are on the map.
Yeah, that's weird. Hold on, let me close him.
That's really weird that your fantasy grounds always has issues with the map. Well, not always. Some of it was probably loading, but this one's like just odd.
Let me try something. I'm going to take the tokens off and put them back on, see if that fixes some things.
Hot dogs and beans sound good.
Hot dogs and beans do sound good.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I want some delicious, yummy beans.
Sorry. No, I think my map is all screwed up usually because my internet slows down whenever he loads a map. So now everybody's there, but we're all the same size and we're giant.
You're still all giant?
Yes.
That's just weird.
Yeah, but everybody's there, but it's just giant.
That's strange. Are the vultures
Yeah.
there?
Yep, and they're giant too.
That's really weird.
That's
Yeah.
so strange. I think everybody else is
Yeah,
normal
I'm
size.
normal. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're just waiting on Andy to get back.
He's back.
Yeah.
You just
he
don't
didn't
hear
roll-
me because my mute's on.
Got it. I need you to roll initiative, sir.
Oh. Well, in that case.
Since I'm going last, I'm gonna log into what is this called? Fantasy Grounds.
Sounds good. All right. So let's see. Who's starting this? The vultures will start, and then followed by Othig, Mav, Filbert, and Thanok at the end there.
I'm sorry, Mike. Can you kick me out?
Yeah.
My name is in use.
Give me just a sec here.
Okay.
There you go. All right, so vultures are going to go first. Vulture 2 is up first. It's going to swoop in to here, and it is going to attack. Let's see. Andy, even or odd? Or Ryan, even or odd, sorry.
Even.
Even. It's going to attack Thanok. And it's going to attempt to slash at you with its beak, and it's going to hit you. And it is going to bite you for 2 points of damage as this beak just slashes into your arm. And Vulture 1 is going to swoop in at the other two guys. And it is going to... Filbert, even or odd?
Let's go even.
And it's going to bite at Mav. And it's going to hit Mav for 4 points of damage. Mav, this thing is just flapping its arms, and it grips your chest with its claws, its talons, and then it just leans forward and it latches onto your neck. And it's just tearing at your flesh. Othig, you're up.
Well, I'm gonna try to hit it.
Do it. You will hit the vulture. All right, so you lay into that vulture for 5 points of damage and you drop it out of the sky onto the ground. Filbert.
I'm gonna move over to the other one.
Sorry. Okay, you move over to the other one. Mav is up, not Filbert.
Well, Mav is not liking that, and he's going to... And surprisingly, he's actually going to hit it
All right.
for 1 point of damage. He's not too strong with that spear yet.
All right. But you're feeling a little better from last week. You guys practiced up some, and you actually managed to smack something. Filbert's up.
Yeah, seriously.
Filbert screams. And then he's going to take a step back and just throw his rock at this vulture.
Okay. So, let's see. You're going to take a step back, so it's going to attempt to hit you. It will bite you as you try to step away from it.
Yeah.
And it will bite you for 4 points of damage. It grabs onto your neck with its beak, and it seems to be an exposed area it can get at. And it's like these things instinctively know to go for the jugular. And you yank your head away, and you feel like that's what actually does most of the damage, is you pulling away.
It missed our uncle and got my neck.
All right. So you back up and you throw your rock. And as you throw your rock, it turns into something. What does it turn into? Or what is this? What is going on here, T?
Oh, so this is that moment that Filbert's kind of been like waiting for. And his rock turns into a small owl. That as it flaps its wings, sand kind of falls out. And it's just this small sandy desert owl, and it's probably the size of an orange. And as he throws it, he's just like, "Hey, that's the thing I've been trying to tell everybody about." And it like just flies over and smacks into the vulture and does what's called a flyby for the owl, and just claws at it as I cast Animal Friendship.
On the vulture?
Indeed.
Okay. And so,
Can't have an intelligence of 4 or higher. So if the beast's intelligence is 4 or higher, the spell fails.
nope.
Which I don't know if a vulture has an intelligence higher.
They have a 2.
Okay. So then it's a wisdom saving throw. My DC is probably going to be terrible. So what, a 10, 8 plus proficiency, and I have a +1 modifier, so an 11.
All right. Well, I have a 10 on the dice, so this vulture is now your friend.
It is, and I will simply tell it to sit, and that's it. That's all. I'll end my turn.
You tell the bird to sit.
Yeah, and I tell it that I will feed it.
Okay. All right. It's not its turn, so it can't respond yet. Thanok, you just watched Phil throw his rock, and it turned into an owl, and then he told the bird to sit.
I will just look over at Phil and like, what? What? Like, am I killing this thing or what? Like, what am I doing?
If it doesn't sit, sure.
It's not sitting yet.
Okay, then I will move right here and hold my action. And if it doesn't sit, I'll attack it.
Okay. So you're waiting to hit this thing, and it starts to fly higher, and it looks like it's going to get out of your reach, but it doesn't look aggressive anymore.
It can't understand me.
I can choose not to
Yes.
take that action.
You
right?
can
Yeah.
definitely choose not to hit it.
I guess I'll just like see what it's doing.
Okay. It flies over and lands on Phil's head and sits down.
I'll give it some jerky.
Okay. You pull out a hunk of jerky and you feed it, and it flies off.
Okay. All right. That's it then. Hey, I have a mechanics question.
Sure.
Did you say that the fighter commoner we get a D8 on our spear?
Yeah, I was going to give that to you guys.
Okay.
Yep.
I did that, but I saw that Othic didn't.
No, you should be
Oh,
rolling
I
it.
did not. I did not hear or remember that. So
Yep.
thanks.
It was right at the very end of our game last night, or last week. It was right at the very end of it.
Yeah, it was. We were talking about your feet.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Yep. Yeah, you're right.
All right. So you guys have chased off the vultures or fed them, I suppose. One of them is laying there dead. Its friend is in a tree nearby looking at its dead friend.
I'll just ask Filbert, like, how long does that last?
24 hours. He's my friend.
Huh. All right. All right.
Yeah. So, yeah, the vulture's just sitting in that tree that's off to the northwest of you guys. Just watching. So it's definitely eyeing up the other vulture.
Can I assist you?
Is there anything else you want to do? I mean,
I would like to collect my owl.
all right, you put your finger out, and you guys watch as this little sandy owl kind of flies around a little bit and goes and lands on Phil's finger, and then turns back into his moon rock.
No, I think he'll stay that way.
Oh, okay, never mind. And stays an owl.
Is that what happens when you get kissed by a dryad?
Well, I mean, that's how I found him. He just hasn't not been a rock for a long time. I told you he kind of fell, and I caught him. I think he got hurt.
Yeah, I mean, when rocks fall from the sky, they tend to turn
Do
into
that.
owls and get hurt.
Yeah, well,
All right.
and then I'll use the slight druid craft, and I'll just grow a couple of more mushrooms and stuff on the little dead vulture, and then I'll just kind of leave it there because I don't actually care about it.
So you guys watch Phil now casting spells and making plants grow, and has a rock that transforms into an owl, and everything is far weirder than it was.
Yeah.
He looks like it's all completely normal.
Yeah, I'm sure he does look like it's normal.
I'm gonna ask him where he learned to do that.
The dryad, I'm pretty sure. It's all just kind of been weird since the cave.
No, that's all I needed.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So you guys,
We're just common dwarfs. It's like, what?
That's not very common.
no.
Yeah, that is the opposite of common.
No, but I'm saying this is a land where that's just kind of weird anyway. So it's like, what questions am I gonna ask?
Fair.
Dwarven resilience when it comes to weird things. It's like unaffected. I am unaffected by this bizarre behavior.
Filbert has no idea about any of this, but he's acting super confident about the fact that he knows everything about it. But he's got that smirk that Mavamine gets when someone asks him about the books.
And you
Not
know,
all about the books.
I'm just happy that seems to have a purpose now.
sure, you can call it that if you want. I don't know if
That
he's gonna.
sounded super condescending.
No, I don't know what he's doing, but he's seems to know what he's doing, so I'm happy for him.
It's like that big brother. Man, I'm so glad he finally figured out his life.
Yeah, because
All right, so you guys are headed on down the road. In about another hour, you see a small adobe-style building not too far ahead of you. And then as you approach that, you see the ground open up into a huge quarry. At the edge, on the far side from where the road meets it, is an entrance to... Where's that at? I just lost my reading place, sorry. Let me just start over. I'm just going to start back with the house. That's terrible. Let's see. An hour later, as the sun hangs low in the sky, you round the bend and the road opens up to a quarry. At the edge of that quarry is a small building that you recognize as a traveler's house. These houses are placed along roads and trails, and they are intended for community use. It's basically a house that they build where they know people are going to be traveling to that they're probably going to have to camp at. It's kind of like a rest stop on an interstate. Outside the house is a full water barrel and a large pile of firewood. A winding path leads down into the quarry, ending at the north face of the quarry with a large, ornately carved doorway. On either side of the road, approaching the entrance, is a deep quarried out pits. These would be the pits that Oren was talking about, where they throw the bodies of slaves and criminals.
And we can just keep walking past, right?
Yeah,
You can.
We gotta find the furnace first.
You do have to find the furnace. It's getting late in the day. You could stay at the traveler's house for the evening, or you could.
Oh, I suppose that's true.
Or you could press on to the actual crypt.
Oh, cool.
How my concern, my only real concern on this is how much more time
Composition.
does Amkohm have before he's just a puddle?
Well, I mean, yeah, he'll be a puddle here pretty soon, but the goo is very well contained by the mossy dam now that is somehow springing up all around him, and
Probably actually using him for liquid.
probably, and he's on the waxy canvas as well that would keep the liquid contained. So, you feel like even if he's a little sloshy in the morning, you'll still get the job done.
God, that's so gross.
He's just turned into slaw.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, we should probably get a night's rest. You guys are probably needing a rest anyway.
I am definitely needing a rest.
All right. So you guys take a rest. In the middle of the night, I don't know if you guys would even think to set up watches at this point. Maybe. You're not idiots. You're just commoners. Middle of the night watch, another person comes in. This is an old lady. And she sees that there's somebody awake watching. Who wants to take this watch?
I don't know, but we didn't even think to be like, does anybody live here?
Nobody lives in
It's a
these
house.
houses.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, no.
Okay, like this is not her house, and she's like, "Who are you?"
No,
Bill will be up. He's still kind of like staying up with his uncle often.
Okay. This old lady comes into the house. It's an older human woman. And she's like, "Can I share the house with you 4 dwarves this evening?"
And it's a human woman?
Yep.
This is a bad
Sure.
twist on a Disney movie.
Yes.
If she offers an apple, I'm out.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. And she walks back out the door, and you hear her talking to someone. And then she comes back inside, and she's got a bedroll and a pillow. And she rolls it out in the corner of the house and starts to go to sleep.
As she comes back in, I'll ask her who she was talking to.
I was talking to my donkey.
Does it talk back?
No, it's a donkey.
So
Exactly.
I was just making sure it wasn't abnormal to talk to animals because I do it all the time and my family gets really mad at me. So I just thought I'd ask.
Well, I mean, I'm not having a conversation with it. I'm just giving it a comforting tone of voice to help it understand that it's okay to be outside at night.
Oh, have you ever tried talking to it? I hear donkeys have great ideas.
Yes.
You've never heard that.
Everyone's heard that.
Yes, that's probably why he's smiling all the time. And she kind of rolls her eyes, and she's like, "This guy's weird."
That works.
Okay.
And then I'll go hang out with the donkey.
Donkey's name is Nurk.
Does she tell me that, or does he?
The donkey tells you that.
Sweet.
You're out there having a conversation with the donkey. It tells you all sorts of wonderful donkey things about how it doesn't really like the old lady, but it's his job as a donkey to do his job. And so he just takes her stuff around. But she does give him apples, which apples are great. And this is the conversation that you're having in your head with the donkey.
Yep.
Okay. We are never going to be able to confirm nor deny that the donkey actually spoke back. So,
Seems standard.
whoever gets up next for watch finds Phil outside talking to a donkey and an old lady sitting down in the corner of the house sleeping.
I would like to take a watch, but I don't know if I'm physically capable of waking up.
No, you probably wouldn't be able to, not after spending most of the night up the night before with Phil.
Yeah.
So you guys find this lady.
Yeah, Phil will sleep out by the donkey.
She seems all right. You guys have seen houses like this before on your travels with the caravan. You know, there's several of them on the way to and from the major cities. It's pretty normal to spot them. You figure she's just somebody who came in the middle of the night.
Do we catch her name already? Sorry.
No, Phil didn't ask.
Okay.
That's 100% true. That's a thing.
But he definitely asked the donkey for his name.
Yep.
Yep. So the sun comes up. The old lady gets up. She starts cooking breakfast. She's a traveling foodstuffs and spice provisioner. So she's got a couple of bags on her donkey, and she asks if any of you are interested in spices.
You got spice?
What kind of spices does she have that we're...
You got any
familiar with?
skooma?
No skooma. She's got all sorts of different stuff, all sorts of cooking things. She's like, "Here, let me give you this." And she gets all like smiley and cackly, and she runs out to Nurk and comes back with a small red shaker vial. And she takes the top off, and she's like, "Get a whiff of this." And she holds it out to you guys. Who wants to smell it?
I'll smell it.
I do.
All right. Please make Constitution saving throws for me.
Test of sneezing and coughing.
That's just enough. You get a whiff of this stuff. There you go. That's enough too. You guys just barely make it. Your eyes start to water and your cheeks get all red and puffy. This is the hottest smelling stuff you've ever smelled in your life, but it smells delicious.
Wow.
She's like, "Would you like me to make some eggs?"
Yes.
Well, no. Oh gosh. What
No.
else can she tell? What else can she tell me about this spice? Like quantity that should be consumed. What is it? Where does it come from? Like I want to know.
She tells you that it grows in some plants in the mountains to the east, or to the west of here, not to the east. It's very hard to come by and find. It's very expensive, but she likes giving out samples of it because people who eat it usually come back for more.
Oh, great! It's cocaine.
More like heroin.
So she makes you guys breakfast, scrambled eggs and chopped onions and a whole bunch of other stuff, and it's very spectacular for those who eat it. It's very hot, but it's great. You guys really your senses come alive as you eat this stuff. You guys can have advantage on your next perception check.
Nice. How much would it cost to pay her for this breakfast?
She would accept a silver.
Okay, I'll hand her 2.
Oh, that is very generous of you.
Yep, 2 silver from me as well.
Oh
Well,
my.
I was paying for everybody.
I would ask her what the cost of a vial would be.
It's 15 gold.
Oh,
Whoa, dang. That was actually going to be my next question. So,
You guys just like almost fell apart at me charging 15 gold for something. A few weeks ago, you were dropping like $50,000 on some poor cat's boat that you didn't even know.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yep. She said, "So, are you dwarves part of a clan?"
Yeah, we'll tell her.
Good.
I'll tell her.
The Granitebacks. Famous clan, you know. Hard times you've been on the last century. Tell you what. How about I pay a visit to your camp? And if I can sell a bottle of spice to them, I'll leave a very small one for you.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I was planning on buying one for the clan, but that would be cool too.
Very good. Who then should I say sent us? Sent me? That was an honest DM slip. This lady did not say us.
Mav, tell him Mav sent.
Okay.
She's weird. Say Filbert Center.
This lady seems on the level. She's a bit odd, but you know, there's people like her that travel, that collect odd things and sell them. Some of them are very profitable at it. It's not unusual.
Matt would get his name.
All right, very
Speaking of
good.
names, need to grab her name before she goes.
Oh, her name? This is Madame Cardi, purveyor of fine spices.
Madam Cardi. Well, I'm gonna tell her thanks for breakfast.
You are most welcome. She says good luck with your uncle.
We probably just sent a hag to camp.
As long as she's sending out good food, it's fine with me.
Did we mention that he was our uncle?
Nope.
No.
No?
But I wasn't paying attention.
So she gets on her donkey and rides off down the road.
No wonder you guys developed Realms of Terror.
I mean, listen, here's the thing. If you want to ask her how she knew about our uncle, you can ask.
Well, Filbert, of course he's not paying attention. Tony is.
All
By the
right.
way, we didn't create any Realms of Terror. They predated us.
Because you didn't ask the right question.
Hey, you can still run out there and ask her. Any one of us could, actually.
Filbert, do you want to ask her?
I genuinely don't know. Like, Filbert likes his uncle. He was kind of talking with this lady. No one mentioned our uncle, and she said, "That's my uncle." Yes, Filbert's gonna go out there and ask her how she knew it was their.
Okay, so she's a little bit down the road. She's not far at all, and you come jogging after her, and she stops, and you ask her, and she says, "Oh, Nurk told me." She pats you on the head and rides on down the road.
Can I make a new insight check for that?
No.
Dang it. All right. Filbert wouldn't care. He'd believe her.
Yep. Filbert would be like, "Oh yeah, of course he told you. I talked to him for last night for like 2 hours."
Right. He got the whole story about Uncle and how I don't trust scorpions and all this.
You know, there is a good chance that she may have just overheard you out there talking to her donkey and thought it was weird. So, just saying. It might not be a hag headed towards your caravan. It just might be an old lady. Might be old lady Madame Carvey.
This is why we all become adventurers, guys. It's our fault.
It's always our fault.
So, we taking Squishy Amkohm to the tomb now?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you go to pick him up, and he is definitely starting to slide around in his own juices.
Ugh.
And someday you guys can thank Paul for this visual picture. He, as a police officer now in the Fox Valley area, found a man who'd killed himself in his bathtub a month later.
Oh,
Yeah, I've heard I feel like there's stories like that come up every once in a while.
Yeah. He says it's. He said people don't dry out; they turn into soup.
yeah.
That's whatever. He's
That's
heard
on the
of.
recording.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, you guys.
Sorry, Allie.
You guys make your way down into the quarry, and you make your way towards the doors of the charnel house. And sure enough, you get alongside the pits, and there's signs alongside these pits. One sign on one side it says slaves, and the other side it says garbage. And as you go to look into the pits over there, they're covered in like magical darkness. But it's a good ways down from where you're at. These pits, they look deep. You don't know how far down past the darkness the bottom is, but Orin wasn't kidding when he said they could easily be 100 feet.
Is there any order?
No, there is not.
I think we'd all be overwhelmed with the odor of Amkohm soup.
Amkohm,
No, I've been using Druidcraft. He smells okay.
Now he smells like rotting wood.
It's way better than flesh. Just saying.
So as you guys approach the door, you were warned that this would happen. It's a little weird. They do start to slide open on their own. But then something strange happens. There's like this pop, snap, fizzle sound, and they just stop on their own. They don't open more than maybe 6 inches.
Great. Okay.
See, you guys break everything. That was Filbert. Everything we've come around just breaks, and we need to fix it.
Othig, you and I want to try to muscle this open.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, please make strength checks for me. Oh, hey.
Add a 10 to that.
Oh, nice job, man.
I mean, do you want me to add a 10, or is it not important?
It is no longer important. Those are 2 20s that I'm looking at. One natural and one dirty. You're fine. You guys begin to push them open. Now make perception checks for me.
Remember, we have
At advantage.
Yep.
Do we have to take this at advantage, or is it automatically the next one we take is at advantage?
It's automatic. Yep.
Okay.
19.
Oh my gosh.
Man, you guys are owning the rolls tonight. 17, 19, 19, and
So mine's
Dude.
15.
Mine's a-
Still good.
mine's a 29.
Yep. So, you guys, it looks like somebody was forcing this door open before you were here. There appears to be crowbar marks on the outside of the door here. That somebody got something in there, wedged it open, and they look pretty recent. They don't show a lot of signs of weathering.
Did the bandits have crowbars on them?
You don't know.
Nobody
Oh.
let me loot the bodies.
Yes, because they would not let you loot the bodies.
These are the doors that only open up by magical means when you approach with a body. Correct?
Correct. And they started to do that for you guys, and then they fizzled out for some reason.
Are we able to tell if the previous people were able to get in?
That would require a survival check.
Does that mean you're gonna? Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to find survival.
Yep. You can't tell if the people trying to get it open got in or not. So, would you guys like to go inside now, or do you want to do something else out here?
I don't need to be out here more.
Yeah.
All right. So you pass through the now open gateway, and it immediately turns into downward stairs. So I want dexterity checks from all of you as you try to balance Uncle Amkohm.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh, it's all so bad. It's all so bad.
Mine's a -1.
Okay. So the two highest rolls are 12s, which are enough for the most part to balance out the litter. However, a fair amount of Uncle sloshes over the front end, and
Oh,
let's see who rolled bad. That was Thanik and Filbert.
Othig, but I rolled the
Othig.
worst.
You did, but let's see. Adam, it's your turn to pick even or odd.
Even.
Even. Othig, you get an earful of slosh.
Oh.
It just comes over and it like just right on the side of your face. It's in your ear. It's just not okay. The terrible thing that just happened to you.
Oh.
Mav lets out a small laugh before smelling it. and
Hey,
then
Mike.
Yeah.
choking a little bit.
Tony doesn't actually know how guidance works. How do you want me to apply that? Because it's one person gets a 1d4 on an ability check, and I basically can just do that all the time.
Right.
Do you want me to, when you announce it, just pick somebody when you're having us do group checks, or do you just want to roll a d4 and remove me from that and just assume it's random?
What?
Let me figure that out
Adam, what
because
did you-
I've just been playing with Cowboy a lot recently, and he uses guidance all the time, and I don't like the willy-nilliness of it. I do like
Okay.
the idea.
I wouldn't have taken it, and I don't plan on taking it later.
Mm-hmm.
It just comes with the fee.
Yeah, it's a really nice cantrip. It really
What about
is.
when Adam did it? Did you?
I
Because Adam used to
did
do
it pretty
occasionally.
I did it pretty sparingly, and I didn't do it any time. I didn't use it a whole lot for this very reason, because I don't like the idea of just, hey, everybody just automatically add a D4 to their thing, because it's for the same, like, just goofiness of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like when you did it,
I did it whenever it made sense that it was like, okay, this person in the next short period of time is about to go do something.
Yeah. I
So,
think
like,
that's how
when
we'll
we
do
were
it.
gonna go open up the door.
Okay, and Filbert's not guiding anybody. It certainly isn't a thing that he's ever considered. So, like, I'm okay with it not being a thing. I just saw that I had it and
Yeah.
was like, how the crap do I do this for group checks? But
You can
Okay.
use that on more complex tasks. When it's like a perception check or something like that, don't bother. But if somebody's trying to disarm a trap, that would be a perfect time to be like, hey, you get a D4 of guidance on that. So just use it sensibly and not every time somebody's got to make a skill check, throw it out there. I mean,
Yeah,
it exists for that purpose. It just gets to be too much. So,
just announce to the person that they can toss a D4 in there.
yep. And that's how we'll do it. All right. So you guys head into the house. Othig gets his
It's
final
not the
kiss.
house. It's a cave.
It's called the Charnel House, which is basically a
Oh.
burial tomb or a cave of some kind. There's a lot of different ways to denote it, but that's what it's called.
Okay.
And it opens up into this area. So after passing through the gateway, you immediately head down some stairs. After about 100 feet, you encounter larger double doors. These ones do the same thing the last ones did. They start to open, and then they stop. But they open wide enough for you guys to get through this time. You don't have to force them open further. But the magic working the doors, again, fizzles. And then you enter into a large chamber, some 80 foot across. It's
do you
magic.
see the same crowbar marks?
Yes, you do. Now that you know what you're looking for. It is magic.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's cool. The room is magically lit from above with a soft, soothing glow. On either side of the pillar-lined bridge that spans the room is what appears to be a completely black void. The pillars reach from the floor to the ceiling that is some 100 feet above you. Each of the pillars is lined with Krend household symbols, many of which you recognize. You see them on the sides of different homes and in businesses and buildings. Some of them are clan symbols. Some of them are just like last name style symbols. On the sides of the bridge, in the spaces between the pillars, There are more detailed symbols designating different low-ranking social statuses. Looking at all of this, you believe that this is the ossuary for the average commoner. As you step further out into the bridge, the air again begins to crackle around you, and the light in the room begins to flicker. Something in here is causing the magic to fail. And it isn't just the lights. The void, the black void that was covering the bones below, disappears and reveals a pile that's... You don't know how deep the pile is, but it's 30 feet below the edge of the bridge you're on. And on both sides, it is filled with bones.
That's a lot of bones.
Do we know if it's common for bodies to be buried with loot?
No, in the Kren Empire, not at all. Only royalty or very high-ranking nobles would be buried with treasures.
So it's fair to assume that anyone who wanted to break into here wasn't trying to get in here for money.
Probably not.
Is there any nobility or royalty that are buried here?
There would be some noble humans and noble dwarves that are probably buried here, but they'd be ones that were common to the area. This probably would not be a treasure-style tomb.
Okay.
Does there seem to be any kind of damage done, whether it's just like natural erosion or actual like weapon scoring or whatever?
Not in this room, and really, I use the phrase crowbar because crowbar is a pretty typical D&D tool, but other than a tool being used to pry open the two sets of doors coming down here, you don't see any sort of damage marks at all in this place.
Okay.
All right. As you guys are looking around a little bit, you begin to see flickering of light down in the bone piles.
I'm sorry, we see what?
Flickers of light.
Down below us?
In the bone piles, yep.
Does it look like the light is like buried beneath some of this?
Okay, you lean over and you watch a very large glowing beetle crawl up out of the mouth of one of the skulls that's down there. And it's kind of farting around on the other bones for a minute, and then it turns and it looks up at you, and it starts to hiss. And then you see the other lights start moving towards the bridge as well. And then you watch multiple beetles start climbing up the sides of the bridge.
Time to go. Let's move. Take Grandpa or Uncle, and let's move on to the place we need to put.
Yes, that's what we're doing. Filbert says we should leave.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys zip down the bridge as you watch several large glowing beetles crawl up onto the bridge, and some of them give chase to you. And I'm going to need you guys to roll initiative.
Jeez.
I may have a -7.
Yeah. Do you want us to add that stuff to initiative?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no escape from the beetles.
Mav's just gonna sit there and take 6 hits before he actually figures out what to do.
He's
Seriously.
gonna go tomorrow.
All right. So you guys are about to fight the wisp beetles.
It's amazing what's scary to commoners.
Everything.
One of my favorite parts about this whole thing is like everything is terrifying. All right, so let's see. Wisp Beetle 4 gets to go first. How great. And that one is, where's he at? This guy here. He comes running up to Filbert, and he's going to attempt to bite Filbert. And succeed. That's a 14. Filbert, you're bit for 1 point of damage, and the place where you were bit is now glowing.
Oh.
Othig.
Is this where Filbert turns into a wisp beetle?
Othig, you're up. I'm actually going to push these guys out here. They're crawling. They're right on the edge of the wall right now, using their bug powers to hang on.
They can't move through to get below this Wisp Beetle 4, can they?
Yeah, you can move through. You can move through friendly spaces.
Oh, okay.
It costs you twice your movement to do so. They're difficult terrain, technically, but you can move through friendlies.
Actually, no, I probably shouldn't do that either. I'm going to do that instead.
All right. And unfortunately, you are going to miss the beetle.
Yep.
All right. Wisp Beetle 1 is going to attack you. And he is going to miss you because you were wearing leather armor.
Woohoo! Yeah. Leather.
Thanik.
Go after Wisp Beetle 4.
Oh no, that's a nat 1.
Roll a d20 or a d10?
This is a d20. This is the only one that's different.
I thought there was a 1 and I panicked.
That, because there's a chance that you would fall into the pit.
Yep.
So, all right.
Excellent.
So that brings up Wisp Beetle 2, who's going to attempt to hit Thanik. And that's a 3, so he is not going to. Filbert.
He's just going to yell that bugs are the worst. And hit it with his quarterstaff.
Nice.
All right. You smush Wisp Beetle 4.
And this is an open space behind us?
Yes.
And then he'll move back here and just kind of give his owl a scritchins.
Okay, scritchins. All right. So that brings up Wisp Beetle 3 then, who is going to attack Thanik and bite him for 1 point of damage. And
I start glowing.
Yeah, you start glowing where you got bit. There is also now a glowing puddle of goo where Tony smashed that one.
Ooh, since I killed mine, am I still glowing?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Mav, you're up.
Well, Mav does not want to risk losing his spear over the edge if he missed. So he's going to... Nope.
All right.
Nope.
You take a stab at that one and miss. And that's going to bring us back to Othig. Yeah, Othig Beetle Basher.
Yes.
Instant death for that beetle there. 16 on the dice and 6 damage. Thanik.
I'm tired of missing things with a spear, so I'm going back to the hammer. Oh, still missed.
And your hammer bounces off its hard carapace. Beetle 2 is going to attack Othig and miss with a 10.
Yes.
Filbert.
I don't want to be near the edge on any of this. Does it look like they're still coming up, or are they attacking while hanging off the side?
They are attacking while hanging off the side. There are others that are now out and flying around.
Yeah, Filbers doesn't want to get near the edge. I'm not even going to move there. I will stand in the middle here, and then prepare an action for if any come near me, I'm gonna womp.
Okay.
That'll end my turn.
Okay. Then let's see who's up. Beetle 3 is up, and it's gonna attempt to attack Thanic, who is missed. That's a 10 on the dice. So
Well, my wife just shared with me that Jamie Kloss might have been found.
yeah, I saw that on Facebook right before I left work today. They found her. There was cops everywhere, all over a farm nearby in Walworth, in East Troy. Oh, Mav attempts to stab.
Missed.
Yep, with the sphere. Mav, make a perception. Everybody actually make a perception check for me. Mav doesn't notice it.
I got a 12.
There's another nat 20 tonight. 12,
For
14.
persuasion.
Seriously, Bug, you don't want to kill us.
Oh,
Go
thing.
back down there.
15 was
so
the
mine-
DC. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
I almost always accidentally hit the performance one, but you were like one more down.
Yeah, I saw the P and I was like, that's it. Nope.
Nope.
I know. I always like gravitate towards that grouping, and then I'm just like, which one am I trying to click?
Oh, thing.
Well, it's funny. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
As Mav runs over the glowing goo, it stops glowing and it looks like his feet are, but the glow is moving up his body and then disappears.
Oh.
Oh, that's no good.
What did I just do?
Let's see.
I'm gonna yell to Mav that he should try to get rid of this stuff on his leg.
It's not there when he looks, but thanks, I guess. So that brings us to the top of the round because the new Beetles didn't get to go this last round, and now they are zipping in to attack. So 7 can attack Thanak, and will critically hit Thanak for 2 points of damage.
No.
Oh,
Othig, you're up. No
Drat.
No beetle smashing with that one. And then this beetle is going to fly over to here and attack Thanak
Jeez.
and miss. That's a 5 on the
Oh.
dice. Thanak, you're up.
I'm going after the one that that crit me.
Ah, that's the guy behind you. That's number 7.
With the hammer.
With the hammer. Oh, that will kill this guy. I did not adjust their hit points down, sorry.
Oh, it said it. That's weird. It said it put him at unconscious.
Yeah, that should have outright killed him.
Okay. Hot dog.
Yep.
And that's it.
All right. Wisp Beetle 2 is going to attack Othig. And that's a nat 1. Bad Beetle. And a 6 for a recovery, so he's okay. Filbert. Beetles, man.
He's excited that none attacked him, but he's sad that he didn't get to attack, and he's going to come out to the middle here and thwomp beetle number.
No thwomp.
No, he won't. Never mind.
No
And
thwomp.
that'll end his turn.
All right. So that brings us to Beetle 3, who's going to attack Mav and bite Mav for 1 point of damage. Mav, as this thing bites you, your leg where it bites you starts to glow, and you're looking right at it where you got bit, and you watch as the glow is absorbed into your skin.
I'm not liking that.
Beetle 4 is going to go over here
What happened that you don't like?
We're wisp dwarves now.
and attack
What?
Othig and miss. Othig, where's the war gong, bro?
What? Oh, sorry. Oh, man.
That's why this battle's going so poorly for
Yeah,
you all. There's
never rang
there's
it.
not enough war gong. Oh, Mav, so close.
He's also going to step that way.
Oh, don't want to hit it now. I'd be afraid of waking up any more of these things.
Right.
All right.
And I would only go before that wisp dwarf or wisp beetle if it rolled pretty terribly on its D10
Oh,
for it having a nat 1.
that's true. I didn't even realize it rolled a nat 1. So. All right, and it's going to attack you, and it will miss. Othig, you're up.
Ooh, lots of targets.
You're in a target-rich environment.
Let's see if I can hit it. Yeah!
Yeah, you can.
That'll hit. Nat 20. For instant
11 points of
smushing
damage.
death to that beetle.
Implosion.
Implosion into like a puddle of misty light just dissipating out and about.
That's awesome. I love it.
Thanic.
Beetle number 3. Oh my gosh, miss.
No
Dude, I
beetle.
hear ya.
Ah,
That's beetle number 2's turn. He's going to bite at Othig and miss. Filbert, you're up.
He'll try and. Oh, there's so many that are just not where I want them. Bleh.
That'll do. 18 to hit.
nice.
Smush the beetle.
And then he'll run back off the bridge.
All right. So that brings up beetle 3. So let's see. Whose turn is it? Andy. Even or odd?
Even.
Even. So it's going to attack Thanic. I don't think you guys have guessed wrong yet tonight. And that will hit Thanic for 1 point of damage. Thanic, you are double glowing now, correct?
I've been hit 3 times. One of them was a crit.
Okay. That's right. So you are glowing quite a bit now.
I am incandescent.
Yes, you are. And let's see. Beetle
I'm
4
turning into Dr. Manhattan.
will be bit. Or Othig will be missed. Sorry. No bite for that Beetle 4. Mav, you're up. Oh, big miss for Mav. Othig. Yeah, smash that beetle.
Wow.
Yeah. You pummel the beetle to death with 2 points of damage. Thanic.
Do I gain any kind of like superhero powers now that I'm super glowing?
No, you
Oh,
don't.
okay, all right. I'm gonna attack Beetle 3 with a 16,
That'll do it. Smash it.
and I smash it for 5.
5 points of damage, and Beetle 3 goes down. All right, Beetle 2's up, and it's going to attack Othig. And 12 will hit you, correct?
Yes.
For 1 point of damage, and you are starting to glow brighter. Filbert.
Is there only one of these things left that we can see?
Yeah, there's others flying around, but they're all about firefly size. These are the only big ones.
Oh.
There are quite a few of them that have now landed on Uncle Amkohm, though.
Oh,
Oh, where is he?
You would have set him down right about where you're standing.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Here goes everything.
That'll hit.
Oh, I forgot to.
That's okay.
I got a 14.
14 will hit. For 8
Jeez.
points of damage, and you smash this beetle to
Yep,
death.
and then he'll move back here.
All right. Looks like all the large beetles have died.
and you said Uncle Amkohm is like covered in little ladybug-sized ones?
Yeah, he's not quite covered in them, but there's quite a few on him.
I'm gonna go shoo them all away.
All right. You start to flick them off and things like that, and most of them take flight and take off. A few scurry underneath the shroud and other stuff, but you get rid of most of them.
Am I dead now?
Nope, you're not dead. Why would you be dead?
Because I'm completely glowing. Is this the
No.
dwarven afterlife?
No, you're not dead. You're just lit a little bit.
You're not
Adam
dead, you're
is
lit,
lit.
bro!
There's no halls of stone and heaps of treasure around you.
Nope. No, there is not.
Well, I don't know how to process being glowy, so I guess I'll just ignore it like everything else.
It's a good way for a dwarf to handle any problem they face.
Yeah.
Is just ignore it.
That's what Othig thinks. He's all about just trying to ignore the weird.
Anything that's not good and proper for a dwarf, Othig ignores.
Yeah.
All right. So, you guys, Filbert notices that he is standing in the furnace room. There is a very large furnace door on the other side of this room. It is currently lightly glowing with a blue flame.
Let's pick up Amkohm and approach.
Yep.
All right. As you guys pick up Amkohm and you walk out of the room, the void and the lights come back on in the pillar room, which is really weird.
Does
And-
it seem like that should be reversed?
Well, from what Oren described, it seems like the void should and the light should never go down.
Okay.
But something has caused the magic to be disrupted.
I'm going to step back in there.
Nothing happens.
That's normal.
I'm gonna just make a note of everything so far that he said this is what should happen and how that's not happening. Just
Okay.
so that when we go back and we can tell Oren, like, this is what's going on.
Well, basically, you're kind of at the end of it.
Okay.
Like, he told you to not worry about the void. It's there to cover up the pit and so that you can't see the bones. And he told you to, basically, that the doors would open automatically, that things would come on automatically for you, that the furnace would burn automatically when you put a body inside of it. So, but that's, you see the furnace going, so that's kind of the end of what he told you to expect.
Okay. All right. So, did we put Amkohm in there, or are we
No,
about to?
no. You're about to go up and put Amkohm in there, and as you do, there's that crackle and fizzle of magic going out.
Mike, I sent you a message.
Okay.
Does the furnace appear to be not lit anymore?
The furnace does appear to me not lit anymore.
Ugh.
Okay. You guys, you're standing there, and Mav says, "Hold on just a minute." And he walks back out into the pillar room, and you guys watch as the lights go out, and the void disappears again, and the furnace comes back on. And when he comes back into the furnace room, the furnace goes out again.
It's Mav.
I'm gonna hang out on the bridge.
Okay.
When you're, excuse me, I just took something to, I just put a Star Boost in my mouth. Mav, stay in here in the furnace room. I'm gonna go over the bridge. While he's in there, does the darkness come back?
Yes. When he is out of the area of the darkness, it comes back. But the furnace is out again because he's over by the furnace now. Whatever is happening seems to be centered on him.
Huh.
I feel
What's
like
wrong
these
with you guys?
episodes are character centric.
Almost, as if. Okay, well. Mav, you said you're going to stay in the bridge room?
Yeah. He's also gonna just of what's happened.
Okay. Then I guess Othig and I are just going to shrug and throw Throw Amkohm in the furnace.
It's the best way.
It's a good, proper dwarven burial right there.
Yeah.
So you guys also, going in and out of this room, you notice there's hallways to the north and to the south. And the north one is the is covered with dwarven symbology in monikers. You see symbology. You see clan names. You even see marks of holy symbols, and the Graniteback family crest is in that hallway as well. So it's definitely the dwarven side of the hallway. Yeah. To the south, there's human names and symbols relating to them as well. You're not quite as familiar with them, but there's others there. But you see your house to the north. Okay. So you stick Uncle in the furnace, and he lights up, and the flesh and the ooze and the plants and all of that burn away, and the smoke billows up into someplace up in the...
Dang it, Andy, you beat me to
it. I didn't see what you posted, but the link popped up on my other monitor. Tell me it's yes. All right, thank you. But anyways, the fumes and the ash rise up to someplace and go off somewhere deeper into the complex. And then the fire goes out. Normally, you feel like it's normal, and just his bones are left inside there.
All right, so I think, yeah, we'll grab those and we'll bring them north.
Yep. There are some urns along this wall by the furnace. You feel like they're there to help transport bones.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. So as I said before, this hallway is covered in dwarven script and runes, the names of ancient houses and noble houses. You see the Graniteback name here, several lesser clans. You see the blue stones, the deep blades, the bronze beards, all good solid dwarven families. The hallway opens up into a room that reminds you very much of the last room you were in, only it's a lot smaller. Let me pop that open on the map for you. There we go.
Mav is going to kind of hang back as they walk.
Okay. You guys carry the bones forward, and sure enough, the magic stays running the way it's supposed to. The room lights up properly. The voided shroud that covers the bones stays in place. On the far side of this room is a large double door. These doors are carved with regal-looking symbols, real ornately done things. That seems to be the ossuary for any dwarven lords that were buried in this tomb. The Graniteback symbol is on these doors as well. Although it's been a long time since one of your clan has had rank enough to be laid to rest in such an important place, at one point in time somebody was.
What happens if we put him there when he wasn't supposed to be there?
Probably nothing. You don't know.
Oh, Filbert's actually asking his kinsman that.
Oh.
Everybody dies.
But we all die there, which means we die as lords.
No. I would probably just say then the gods will curse us for our arrogance.
Do you believe that, Anna?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
Well, right, but they should also curse me for being kissed by a dryad, and they haven't done that yet either.
Cursed? Why?
Isn't that what the Kren believe? That nature magic is inferior and the gods have banished it?
No, they just think things like dryads and nymphs and stuff are really weird and not Krenish. There's Kren nature worshipping people out there, druids and rangers and whatnot.
Oh, I was I was playing it up.
Not necessarily our clan beliefs or dwarvish.
Well, sure, but Filbert has been told all of these things, and all of these statements have been made to him as law, and he's basically in this moment saying, do you really believe that all of those things will just happen? Or can we actually die as lords by dying where the lords are buried?
Yeah, but
no,
I don't believe those things anyway, because you don't, like, even like going through the army and all that stuff, like you don't even really believe that stuff.
Oh, I don't believe any of it.
Yeah, so no worries.
I do. 100%. 100%.
And that's my point behind making the statement.
So, what are you guys doing with Uncle Amkohm?
Put him where he's supposed to be.
All right.
Yeah.
So you put him in the proper place, and you very ceremoniously dump out the bones into the void, and they tumble out, they fall through the blackness, and everything is silent below it. There's nothing comes up, there's no noise, no clatter below. It's just the end of Uncle. And then you hear a yelp from back down the hallway. Mav, because you hung back, make a perception check at advantage.
Okay. Not
You
bad.
catch, it's right at the edge of your vision, someone darts around the corner down in the human wing.
Like back towards that way,
Nope, that's the common wing to the
Or-
south.
to the south.
Down there. Yep.
Okay. Okay. I would tell the guys that there's somebody else here.
Okay.
Well, let's find out who.
Probably.
Hold on a moment. I'm answering a message. Oh. Okay. All right. You guys head back down the hallway. And are you going to look down into the human wing?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm not.
No?
You don't feel like you'd be disrespectful of looking down in the human wing. If that's why you're holding back, you wouldn't feel that way.
I
Okay.
would feel that it would be wrong to let them disrupt the human side because they most likely, or could, disrupt the dwarven side as well, which is not okay.
Are you assuming that whoever's here is purposely trying to disrupt them?
I would with tool marks on the doors.
Okay. Then I'll go with you then.
All right. So you guys head down that way, and you're looking into this room, and you hear shrieking sounds, and all of a sudden, thousands of bats are flying around you guys, and I need you to roll initiative as you fight off a bat swarm.
Why
That's
did you take us
why.
down here, Thanik?
Bat swarm.
Well, why did I take us down here? Is that what you said?
that is what I said.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
what he said.
Yep. Oops. And then, let's see. Let me get the bat swarm in the map. Swarm of bats. All right. Let's see. Did you guys you rolled your initiatives? All right.
Yep.
Bat swarm goes first, and it flies this way over you guys, and makes an attack roll, and fails. It absolutely terribly fails.
That's
Did
'cause
they
we're
lose
glowing,
all
right?
their wings?
Just so everybody knows that you can hit the bat swarm from pretty much wherever you are. It's just the core of it is flying back and forth.
Okay.
Thanik, you're up.
I'm still glowing, right?
Making a perception check. Yep. Yep. You're still glowing.
Cool.
Yeah, hit that
Hey.
swarm.
Smash!
Yeah.
Resisted.
Resisted that one.
Jeez. It's good to know.
It's like
All
you
right.
actually did half a point rounded down to 0.
Yeah.
You can't do less than 1 point of damage. So,
I know. I just thought it'd be funny to say so.
so we will we'll give you that point back.
All right, cool. Guys,
Math.
I did full damage. Bludgeoning damage is not resistible.
You
I did full
reverse
damage.
resisted.
I did.
Yeah.
Think
Mav's
this
gonna
might hit.
stab at it with the spear. Yeah.
You
Zero
guys
damage.
are the best.
Rounded down,
Absolute
you
best.
actually healed it.
All right. Filbert.
Oh dear, that's a lot of storm.
Don't worry, we got it on the ropes.
I know.
All right. Filbert clobbers the bat swarm really pretty solidly. And then Othig.
Oh man, it resisted with the hammer? That's so weird. Okay.
And
Bludgeoning
piercing.
and piercing.
I was gonna yell to Thanak to use the hammer, but bring the hammer down, but he did.
That was what I did.
That's what you did.
Oh,
I'm not gonna bring anything down.
and unfortunately, Othig misses. All right, so the bat swarm flies over this way and makes an attack and will bite. And who's it going to bite? It'll bite number 2. Filbert, you are bit 3 times by bats for a total of 3 damage.
Unacceptable.
Thanik.
Ooh.
Oh
Nat
yeah,
20.
buddy.
Oh, girl.
Oh snap!
Oh snap.
Nat 20 for the Vermin Smasher. And you just lay into these bats, do a lot of
let me-
damage to them.
Let me roll a d10.
Yep. No, it's a D20.
Oh, good.
Not much better.
Well, nothing extra happens, so you're safe.
Okay.
You're good. Mav.
Mav is going to take a look around to see what screamed in this room.
Make a perception check for me. That's pretty good. You don't see anybody who yelled in this room. However, you do see a crack in the southeast corner of this ossuary that somebody could maybe squeeze through.
Okay.
All right. Filbert, that's going to bring it to you then.
The bats hurt me.
Yes, they did. All right. Filbert swings around a couple of times and whacks a few more bats out of the sky, and the rest of them disperse off into the darkness. You have solved my bat puzzle.
Nice.
That puzzle.
All right. So, what do you guys want to do? You see this crack down here in the corner. Let me zoom in on it for you. Down there.
Yeah, let's go look at it.
Okay.
Is the while they're looking at that, is the door, hold on. Here, is that open?
No, it is closed.
Okay.
Does a dwarf fit in that crack?
You guys could squeeze through this crack. It would be a very tight fit, but you could do it.
Hafty could do it.
Yep. Filbert could
Sure.
he would squeeze through easier than anybody else.
I would like someone to fix me first.
That would be Andy, and he just BRB'd.
Oh.
So,
I'll wait.
all right. While you guys are waiting, make perception checks. Thanik, you can make yours at advantage because you went over by the door.
Okay.
Ouch. So an 11, a 4, an advantaged 4.
Spirit of Saint Jane has left me.
You said perception, right?
Yes, please. And
Nope.
a 5. Let's see what. That's not much better.
Seeing that I did really bad, I would like to give guidance to the one that's causing all the problems.
No. Nope. This is just a general observation. This is not something I'd let somebody cast guidance on, anyways. Because it's almost a passive check. You don't even really know you're making it.
How about, none of us are doing really great with our perception checks here, so I know a guy.
Are you trying to get us killed? Is that what you're doing?
No. I even said it in that argument that I really like that idea, and this is the perfect campaign for you guys to know a guy. I don't know why I got so mad about it that day. Oh, wait, yes I do, because I'd been off my blood pressure medicine, and I was crazy.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, man, I went loopy for like 3 weeks. And it was really bad getting back on it. They gave me terrible headaches getting back on it. But everything's back to normal now, so we're good. Andy, when you come back, let us know. If you've been back for a while, you're muted. Okay.
I am bad now.
That's so funny.
No, I just sat down, so I heard you say all.
That's really funny. Make a perception check for me, please.
Make it better than the rest of us. That's not better than
No,
the rest
that's a
of us.
17.
I mean, it's better than most of you.
Okay, so Filbert offered to squeeze in through the hole that you guys found because he's the haftiest and he'll fit best, but he would like you to heal him first if that's possible.
Yeah, I'll heal him.
All right.
Is this about when my owl comes back?
All right, Filbert, you are healed for 7 points of damage.
Ooh, get it.
Yep.
I already healed you.
How
Thank you,
does
sir.
that work? Are you using the healer's kit, and what does it do? Just one.
I am using the healer's kit. It is 1d6 plus 4 healing, plus an additional number of hit dice that they have. I guess that would be 0 because they don't have hit dice.
Yeah,
So you were only healed for 5.
but it was still
He's
enough.
Yeah.
He had 4 damage.
So I'll modify that real quickly. So yes, I can heal up to 10.
Okay.
Yeah, Mike, I kind of envision as I go to squeeze through, that's about when my owl probably will catch back up to me.
Okay. Cool. It still has your thing.
Oh,
It's like
okay.
you realize, like, the percentages are all like way different as commoners. Like, we're hitting for like 500% of like a monster's HP. You're healing for like 120%.
Right.
So, Phil, this is the room you see. And as you get to here, an arrow goes whizzing past your head and clatters to the ground. It doesn't hit you, but somebody has shot at you.
I understand, intending to miss, and I'll be leaving now, and I'll just kind of scoot back through.
Okay, you go back out, and the guys are all watching you.
Hey, can I bring the arrow with me?
Sure.
Hey, there's a bunch of these inside, and I'll just hand it to Thanak.
Okay, I pissed that somebody tried to kill my brother. I will just make a poor decision and run in there. I probably should be healed first, but I'm not even worried about it.
I agree with that sentiment, but I'm more of the mindset that I'm not going to let someone have more fun than me, so I'm going.
Okay,
I feel like that would be a very dwarven thing.
as you two clowns start to fight to whoever goes first, make dexterity checks to see who gets in there first as you try to out-leverage one another. No, me first. I'm going. No, I'm in.
Dang it.
Yes, I totally won. There's no way you're getting more.
Get out of the way!
Oh, dang!
You guys are fighting about it, and Mav goes running in. And as he goes into the tunnel, the lights come back on in the room you're in, and the void comes back. And he's here, and then Othig, and then Thanak, and then Filbert. Are you going back in?
No.
Okay. All right, so you guys go in, and you see sitting in this corner as you come through holding a bow, and he's about to shoot again until he sees there's more than one dwarf coming through, is an elf.
I'm charging.
Okay.
Wait, sorry. Say that again.
There's an elf with a short bow sitting in the opposite corner of this room.
Okay, I thought you said something before that.
So if I'm allowed to charge,
I think we'll have to roll initiatives at this point.
Okay.
You're just gonna charge in.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, didn't we just charge in? You're okay. Wait a minute. You're gonna push your way in front of me and then stop?
Yeah.
That doesn't seem very dwarven.
Out of the way!
I'm gonna make this guy bleed out.
Elf.
Why is he elf? I don't know why he's elf. That's really funny. All right, so Filbert, you're up first, but you're outside the room.
I will, I guess, move behind them as I hear them bumbling inside. Because I don't know what else to do. So I'll go there. I assume I have no visuals, so I'll just look at whoever's butt's in front of me.
All right, you can see Thanek, and he's angry. He's flexing. He's getting ready to clobber somebody. Mav,
You must be mad. His glutes are real tight.
Mav, I take it you're attempting to intimidate the elf into.
Mav is yelling at the elf to lay down his arms, or my brothers are going to rip him to shreds.
They'll take his arms off and lay them down for him.
Yeah.
You look at him, and it's not that he doesn't believe you. It's that he doesn't. He's got a pretty wild look in his face. He feels pretty trapped. I think he thinks you're going to do it no matter what.
I might.
That might be true.
So, and with that, it is his turn. He does see 4 of you. I'm going to make a wisdom saving throw. He does. Even though he's not doing it in response to your intimidation, he does surrender. He throws a short sword and his short bow to the side and surrenders. He does not like 4-1 odds.
Mav accepts that this was because of his intimidation.
Sure, you can fully accept that as a character. Mechanically, as a game player, that did not happen.
No.
Oh, think it's your turn. What do you want to do? This elf has surrendered.
Well, I'm gonna move up to talk to him, so I'm gonna get within 10 feet of him and ask him why he was shooting at our little brother.
He bows down and he refers to you as master. He says, I'm sorry, master. I was afraid for my life, and I didn't know it was an honorable dwarf coming through, and I ask that you forgive my impertinence.
What are you doing here?
And he doesn't answer. He just
Is
stops.
that 6 seconds?
Yeah, that's 6 seconds.
Because I'm charging.
I'm gonna. Serious?
Yeah.
Dude,
That's all I
surrender,
can.
really?
That's all I can do. That's all I can do. But I'm charging.
You can't attack him?
No, because this is 25.
And you had to move through Mav, which is difficult terrain, so.
Yeah, so that would have been 25.
Yeah, okay. So you rush all the way up to him. Filbert, it's your turn now. What do you want to do?
Does Thanek look enraged?
Yeah, I would say he's pretty raged up. He's mad that...
I'll put it this way. I don't have any weapons out.
Oh,
he's gonna punch some elf.
I mean, I'll allow it. Looking around this room, do we look like we're in the Lord room?
Yes, you are in the human's lord's room. This is the first time you've actually seen objects buried with people here. Nothing looks very expensive. They weren't buried with treasures, but it looks like there were maybe family keepsakes. You see like shields with crests on them and stuff. Things that wouldn't be expensive but meaningful to the family. So, and there are certain niches carved into the wall here that where it's a burial shelf. There is a body on it and not put into the pit. But there's still a pit in this room as well.
Okay. So I mean, you've kind of collected the way that Filbert's been acting so far. Would he feel that it would be absolutely out of line to instead, because he knows he couldn't get through the other way, to do that here instead?
No, you're good here, I think.
So he'll leave it here
Okay, cool.
instead.
All right. What are you doing about this elf?
Oh, that's what he's doing with his turn. Is he's finding a place to do that while everyone else is distracted.
Okay, you guys are all looking at the elf, and Filbert's wandering around from body to body, going, no, maybe. Maybe. He's mumbling to himself, and then you see him monkeying with something, and he's done with his turn. Mav, it's your turn.
I'm in to ask him why he is there, why he is here.
He says, "It is to my shame, but I am in hiding here."
From what?
From everyone. And it's his turn now. And he looks at Thanek and he says, please don't beat me. And he bows his head again. I was separated from my master and captured by bandits. I escaped from them taking these weapons and hid in this charnel house. Please don't hurt me. And now it's Othig's turn.
I'm gonna tell him to watch out for my brother. I'm also gonna tell him that it might be a good idea for him to just come out with us and maybe let us help him get back to someplace. He can travel with us to Illinois.
Okay. You make that offer to him, Thanek.
And I agree, and I say, aye, that's a good idea. And I grab him and throw his face into the ground and put his arms behind his back.
All right. He does not fight you. He does have some rope on him. He is wearing armor. He had a short sword and a short bow. He's got a quiver full of arrows. You also see he has a slave tattoo on his neck.
How do the slave tattoos work? Is it just like a tattoo of a slave, or like a slave marker, or is it like does it have like a marking of like whose ownership it belongs to? Yeah.
It's a marker of ownership, but it's inside of a hexagon that the marker's made, so that you know it's a slave marker. Because people sometimes will get tattoos of their house on themselves, and they don't want to be confused. So a slave tattoo is always in the hexagon.
But does it say who owns, like what house owns him?
It doesn't say what house owns him. It's just a symbol, kind of like a brand. But you recognize the symbol. It's somebody you guys have run into on the road. It's a dwarven caravan master who ferries food to and from Illinois. His name is Nosa Axebreaker, and he's a pretty stand-up guy.
Okay.
I would suggest that we get him back to his owner.
Yeah, I will spend my action just disarming him.
Okay.
And pushing the items and stuff away from him so he can't grab it.
Sure. So, as you start to do that, you get a better look at some of his stuff. You're not 100% sure you believe his story anymore, because one of his short sword is a Legionnaire's short sword. This is something that would be very hard to come by as an escaped elf from bandits.
I will once I see that, I'll just put it right in front of his face and be like, I don't even know, just like, nice story, and I'll pocket the sword.
Okay. So he was carrying a short bow, 20 arrows, the Legionnaire's short sword, and a leather helm. Now, if somebody wants to wear the leather helm, you can subtract 1 from any bludgeoning damage you take. That's kind of cool. Other than that, the equipment is standard.
I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah, okay.
What'd you say?
Yeah, take that.
Yep.
Okay.
And then on the niche behind him, you find a crowbar, some rope, and a lantern.
You cut out. You said a crowbar and what?
Some rope and a lantern.
A lantern.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask him if he forced his way in with the crowbar.
He bows his head and he says, "Shamefully, I did, master."
I'm gonna do an insight check on him.
Yeah.
Well, that's funny. I was
Yeah.
just about to do the same thing, but
Yeah.
You guys give him a little study. Filbert, you 100% believe him. Thanak, he is definitely hiding something.
Okay, so under normal circumstances, I would be very gentle with slaves. Not necessarily having sympathy for them, but understanding that they have an important place in the empire.
Yeah, this is Empire is not American slavery. Most of the slaves that you know, the ones that work for you, they're given a good life.
Yeah,
It's
but
either that or be hunted, as animals,
Right.
and so
yeah. And I'm not gentle with this guy,
okay.
so I would tie him up tightly, wrench his shoulders maybe a little bit, make sure that he knows
Mm-hmm.
that this was a terrible idea. First of all, because I think he's impersonating a slave, or at least he's lying about something. Also, that he's doing this inside a charnel house, really pissing me off.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you guys have secured the elf, taken his stuff away, and is there anything else you want to do?
Does it look like the sword came from somewhere in this room?
No, it does not.
Okay. I guess we just take it all back with us then.
I didn't mention this before. I don't know if you guys know this or not. Yeah, you'd probably know this. A Legionnaire sword has the owner's name engraved in it.
Oh, can we read it?
Whose name?
The name Theros of... Oh, what's that town's name? Theros of... where is it? Hold on, give me a sec. Theros of... Nope, not that one. I closed it before. I should have left it open. There it is. Theros of Capanis.
Capanis.
That's a town you guys visit. It's on your 3-town tour.
How far
And
away is it from?
Who
where
was
we are?
the slave master's name?
NASA. I gotta go back to a different window now. The slave master's name was Noxa Axebreaker.
Andy, are you writing that down?
We both got it.
Okay.
We're tag teaming.
Nice.
Okay. How far away is that from Elenos?
Let me show you. It's far. It's a couple of days travel at least. By major roadway. It is. So Illinois is kind of right there in the middle of the green. Capanis is over by Angel Lake.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's probably 5 days.
Okay. Where are we on this map?
You are probably where that tree right at the desert line is.
Okay. Like straight to the west?
Yeah, no, you're somewhere between those two trees. You're
Okay.
not that far over.
Okay. So we're a ways out.
Yep, you're a ways out.
All right. Yeah, so let's just grab this guy and
What's his name?
You didn't ask his name.
What's his name?
At this point in time, he realizes he's in a lot of trouble, and he says, "It's not for speaking out of your dirty mouths."
push him in the hole. Push him in the hole.
Oh, I was gonna cop attitude with us.
Yeah, he's definitely after Thanak accused him of lying and then started to rough him up. His attitude changed.
Okay.
because he knew he wasn't getting away with it.
Push him in the hole.
Yeah,
Tells us their name. Here he goes in the hole.
I'll look at him after Phil says that, like thoughtfully. Nah.
Oh. Huh.
All right.
Really wanted to know what happens if a live body goes in the hole.
You guys, what are you doing? Heading out?
Yeah.
All right. So you start to head out, and the strange magical phenomenon surrounding Mav continues. And when you get back out onto the bridge, it's pretty extreme. Mav, I need you to make a Constitution check.
Ooh, that's not good.
I know what that means.
So do I.
You guys stop for a minute out on the bridge, and Thanak, you turn and look at Mav. He's glowing with energy.
Oh, that's no good.
Are you gonna explode?
He doesn't know, but he doesn't feel good.
I feel like I had to throw up.
Filbert doesn't like this. He's gonna try and be nowhere near Mav because that just doesn't seem natural.
Okay.
Yeah. Here, I'll give the slave, if you're okay with that, Othig.
Sorry, what?
I'll give the slave to you. And I'll just kind of grab Mav, not grab him, but steady him and make sure that he can walk.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. So here's what happens. Thanak, you walk over to Mav and you grab him and steady him so he can walk. And Othig takes the slave and Mav detonates. Othig, you're going to get hit with a hunk of this, but not nearly. But Thanak takes.
Get hit with a hunk of Mav?
Of
Mav
Mavic.
is pretty hunky.
Magic. He releases magical energy, and the force of it is extreme. And as this happens, Thanak, you shout out no, and you put your hands up, and it parts around you. And you're like, what? And
jacked up.
And Othig, you're going to take 4 points of force damage as this rush of magic hits you. It is strong enough to crack the pillars near him. The blast is. And the elf gasps. He's like, he looks 100% shocked. And then you hear a strange noise from down below you. There's a rattling sound from below you and a hissing sound. And crawling up out of the pit, surrounded by the magical energy that Mav just released, are 2 skeletons. And I need you guys to roll initiative.
I'm gonna
take.
before we get into initiative, because I'm trying hard to not pay attention to all the weird stuff, I'm gonna yell at Mav like it's his fault that he
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell
What
him,
are you doing?
I just
knock that crap off.
Yeah, Ryan, I just want to point out that you are so strong that it cracked pillars, but only did 4 points of damage to you.
Well,
Yes.
the pillars were more in the center of the blast. Mav or Othig was just on the very, very edge of it.
Oh, okay, all right.
So
Hey, let me have this.
yeah.
No, yeah, I mean,
Now, normally skeletons come armored with weapons. These ones crawl up. They are not carrying weapons, and they are not armed or armored. But they're still skeletons, and you guys have never seen anything like this before in your lives. This is actually a horrendously terrifying experience for you, and I need all of you to make terror checks. That is
Mike,
a
did I take any
wisdom
damage from that
saving
blast?
throw. You did not, sir.
Oh,
Can I assume with my 25 initiative that Filbert was anticipating this?
Yeah, you were watching it, and you were like, so last week something really weird happened to me. I'm not getting near that.
Can I get away without a wisdom check because of that?
No.
Natural 20 on initiative.
No, these are walking dead people. This
Had
is
shadows.
this is something way more out of a nightmare. This is really scary for you. At least centipedes were somewhat normal.
Shadow peds. Okay, wisdom saving throw. You said.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay.
My initiative is a total of a 25, by the way.
Okay, cool. I will fix that.
You're-
Filbert, you
Yeah.
are the only one who makes the saving throw against terror. Terror is something that I've instituted recently in my games that doesn't normally affect people, but this is something that builds up over a lifetime of a character. This isn't like for this combat you're afraid. This is something that bothers you internally in your core. So this is an event in your 3 lives that you'll have nightmares about and remember always.
Filbert, however, is just like another day in Kren.
Yeah.
So, Filbert, it is your turn.
Yeah. He's gonna seeing how affected his brothers are by this, he's gonna go, "It's not that bad," and he's gonna run over. Can I fit in this space?
Yes, you can fit in that space.
And I'm gonna wall up Skelly number 2 with my thing-mabob.
Oh, hood, nice.
Ooh, vulnerable.
Ooh, nice.
See, spears aren't always the better option.
As I high five you with my hammer.
All right, so you have walloped that skeleton pretty hard. Filbert walks up to and just wails on this thing, does quite a bit of damage. And then this skeleton, who's it going to claw at? It is going to claw at Mav. So it rakes its claws down Mav's face and does 5 points of damage to him.
Yikes.
Othig, you're up.
Since I was the one, was there any other thing affected by the fear, or we're just like, this is trauma?
It's trauma. This isn't anything that affects the fight. So
Okay. So I just want to go on record as saying after I yelled at Mav, I would have yelled out for him to heal me as well.
well, that's not something he can do in combat.
No, I know. I'm just
Heal
scold
me.
him and then-
No, it
Yeah.
is.
Is it? Oh, you can spend an action to do it.
I
That's
can
right.
use an action
do-
to expend 1 use.
the kit.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, because I could use it.
Only with the healer feat, though.
Yep.
Nice. All right. I'm gonna clobber the skeleton.
Do it.
Try to anyway.
That is a 9. That's not going
Not
to be
gonna
enough to
clobber.
clobber the skeleton. So that's going to bring us to our elf friend, who is going to attempt to run.
He's bound. Oh.
Well, he's
Yeah.
hopping away. You may take an attack of opportunity at him if you wish.
Instead of an attack, can I like try to grapple or trip him?
You can't You cannot grapple him. You could. No, you can't make a tripping attack either as a commoner.
You could make an attack, or you could take an attack, but do non-lethal damage.
Yes, that you can do.
Yep, that's what I want to do. Do you just want an attack roll?
Yes, please. That is not going to be enough. So he starts to hop away, and you swing wildly at him, and he keeps going. Mav.
Mav is going to use a action to heal himself
All right.
because he be hurting.
Because the elf is bound, is his speed less?
Yes, he only has
Okay.
15 feet of movement.
Okay.
All right, that
That's
brings
Skelly's turn.
up Skelly 2, who has 4 targets. Let's see, who's he going after? He is going after Othig. And he is going to miss. Othig, he catches his fingernails on your leather armor and just drags down it and doesn't do any damage to you. Thanic.
Thank goodness.
Which one
Kill
was
it, Panic.
Skeleton 2 is the one south of you.
That's the one that was injured?
Yep.
Yeah, we don't. Should we have the status things for enemies?
No.
We're not good enough to know how injured things are.
Commoners don't get status.
You are absolutely 100% positive as to why you don't have statuses yet. You have no idea. So you hit that thing again, and you hit it pretty hard. It does some more damage to it. It's still standing, though. Filbert.
He just bellers something about dead should be dead.
And
misses.
All right. Skelly 1 is going to go after Othig. He will hit Othig for 7 points of damage.
Jeez.
Bye-bye.
And
Oh,
he's
I'm sorry,
down.
5 points of damage. It doesn't get the
Still
extra.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, Othig goes down. And let's see. Othig, make a death saving throw. Oh, that's a fail. And the elf hops 15 more feet away. Mav, you're up.
Can Mav get to Othig?
Yeah, you could temporarily share Thanic's space while you commit your action and then move back to where you were.
Okay.
You just can't end your
I
turn in an occupied space.
Let's see. I can stabilize it. Okay, so I can stabilize with a healing kit to put 1 hit point,
Mm-hmm.
or I can use an action to tend to a creature and restore 1d6 hit points. So it doesn't say that I can't do that when they're down.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm
So
pretty sure
that'll-
you could do that when they're down.
Okay.
Nice.
Taking a dirt nap.
Get up, brother. Stop
Thanks.
lying down on a job.
How many uses does that have? 10?
10.
Okay.
I've used 3.
All right. So then the skeleton number 2 is up, and he is got his 4 targets, and he's going to go after Mav. You're running around in front of him, and you draw his attention.
Come on.
And what's your AC right now?
11.
That's what I thought. He gets you.
Jeez.
He gets you for 3 points of damage.
Ugh.
Thanak.
Irritated and angry watching this thing knock people down. I'm going to swing wide.
And miss.
Oh
Ooh,
my
sorry,
God.
Filbert. I just skipped you. There you go. Filbert.
Just gonna take a swing.
Do it.
Nice.
Filbert clobbers it.
Kill it, Filbert.
Right in the face. So
Oh, nice.
Filbert smashes one of the
Very
skeletons
nice.
to pieces. The bones
And he'll
go-
move to there and tell the elf if he moves another step that he's gonna end up in the pit. Because I really want to see what happens if something alive goes in the pit. And
I think he's outside now, isn't he?
No, he's right in front of me.
Yeah, he's close. But not.
I'm faster than you, and I hit real hard.
All right. So Skelly 1. Who's he going to go after this time? That is Thanak. For a nat 20, Thanak.
Jeez.
Nice.
No, not nice.
Thanak, you are hit for 8 points of damage.
Okay, well, that's going to put me unconscious.
At least it doesn't kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could kill a commoner pretty easily.
It could.
Yep, it definitely
Not
could.
me.
That's,
It was
that's
pretty
true.
close.
All right, Othig, you're up. That'll hit. For 4 points of damage. You stab the skeleton. Your spear kind of clatters around in its rib cage, knocks out some chunks. The elf. What's he gonna do? He's gonna keep running. Mav.
Mav is going to yell at his other brother for laying down on the job.
Nice, dude. You're pretty
Let's
hot
heal
with that
him
healer
up.
kit.
Thank
That
you.
healer feat is so underrated. That thing is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, it is.
Yep.
That is pretty awesome for anybody not a healer, especially at low levels.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got it. I got it on my level 12 druid, and I'm pumping out like 20 points of healing using that thing. That's more than a
Yeah.
first level spell slot.
Well, it's at level 12, it'd be a guaranteed 16.
Yep. It's guaranteed 17 because it's 4 plus your level plus
Yeah,
1.
17. Yeah.
Yeah. It's awesome. All right.
Well, hey, thanks.
Well, good. It's your turn, Thanok. And you didn't have to make a death
Alright.
saving throw.
I didn't. And
You're welcome.
I am. Thank you, and I appreciate that. And I am super pissed.
And you're going to clobber it with a dirty 20 for
Jeez.
2 points of damage. But you
Woo!
do feel like your strike hits hard. You smash through a couple of ribs. It's, yeah, you guys are doing some damage on this thing. Filbert, there's still a skeleton fighting your brothers and cousins, or there's an escaping elf.
Right, they look like they're doing all right.
Is that
Thanik
from
just
the...
got back up. I'm not scared of these things. However, the interloper is getting away, and I warned him, so I'm just going to run up to him.
All right.
And I will get to him this turn, and I will impose myself in his way
Okay.
with my total movement.
Got it. All right. All right. So you run up to him and kind of belly bump him a little bit to tell him to get back. And that's the skeleton's turn. And it's going to go after Thanok again. And that is going to hit you. It's a 15 to hit. And he will hit you for 3 points of damage.
Is this what kind of damage is?
This would be
bludgeoning?
slashing damage.
Okay. You said 3 damage.
Yep.
Okay.
And Othig, it's your turn.
Got it.
Oh no, Othig, you missed
Yeah, no.
again.
Pretty good with those threes, though.
The elf sits down.
Good.
Mav.
Mav is going to stab at the spear, or with the spear,
You will
Nice.
hit it.
at the skeleton, and then remind my brothers that I can't help them anymore.
Wait, why?
I can only do it one time,
Yep.
once per long rest.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Well, you can still help me. I'm fine.
no, I've healed you.
Oh,
I've healed all 4 of us now.
Yep. Thanok.
Oh, right. I'm gonna swing at him.
And you hit him.
It was almost a 1.
It was almost a 1, but it's a 15. And you smash him to pieces
Wait. Hot dog.
with
I
your
smashed him.
You smashed him with your hammer. You guys notice standing out here as the skeletons are smashed to bits, there is an aura of magicalness about them that dissipates. And you watch as it almost in a lifelike fashion crawls across, like, I don't even know what it would move like that we know about. It just kind of moves livingly. I don't even know how else to describe it. Over towards Mav and kind of connects to his legs and then pulls itself up under his clothes and disappears.
oh, good. I'm gonna drag the elf over to the edge, and I'm just gonna push his face over, and I'm gonna be like, "You have made a lot of really bad choices. Someone told you directly to not do something, or something bad was gonna happen." And I'm just gonna start pushing him over the edge and see what my brothers do.
I'm going to stop you.
Yeah.
This is somebody else's property, and you could make the clan liable for the reimbursement of a slave.
We don't know that, and I really want to know what happens when something goes in the pit.
No.
Do we want to be known as individuals that don't carry through on our threats?
No, but we also don't want to be known as individuals who incur debts.
Yeah.
And who aside from the four of us will know?
Well,
The four of us would know.
yeah, and I'm not keen on lying.
Isn't a threat not followed through on a lie, brother?
No, it's still a threat. Just a threat. You didn't
I like-
threaten him.
I'm
you didn't
grabbing
promise
this
him.
alt slave and I'm walking off because I'm like not having this conversation.
I think it's crazy that you're having this conversation with evil Filbert, who just came out all of a sudden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
This place is haunted. It makes us do weird things.
Yeah, it makes people explode.
Oh, that too.
Yeah. All right. So you guys head out into the daylight. As you're leaving, as you approach the doors from the other side, they sort of do the same thing. As long
I'll
as
stand back.
Yep, Mav stands back, the magic seems to work normally, and then once they're all the way open, he can kind of shuffle through real quick. Yeah, you get back out into the daylight, and you have
Is it actually daylight time?
it is still daylight. You guys weren't in there all that long, maybe a couple hours.
Should we take a rest and then make the journey back? Because we kind of did it in a day, so.
How long does the journey take?
You would be there, and you'd be able to make it back by midnight.
I would say that we get going so that the slave has less time to
Escape.
escape, less opportunity.
Forced
Yeah,
march.
no.
I like it. Let's do it.
All right, so you guys drag the elf back with you. You make it back without.
I'm gonna. Can I tie him in a way that there's like rope hanging off of him to hold on to?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like a dog?
Yes, like a leash.
They know how to make those. They use them for Filbert.
Or a child, where you see people who like treat their children like
Yeah.
Man,
like kid leashes.
Those.
Yes.
Yay. Ay.
Yeah.
Did you see my message?
Yeah.
Yes, I did see that. So, you guys take him back without much hassle. He gets lippy every once in a while. And you get him back to town. And Nasa is not in town. But he does have an establishment. I don't have it up. I need to see what we're laughing at. There they are.
Child leash.
Oh, I got a better one. More of what I was looking for.
Oh gosh. So who's got the one attached to Filbert?
No, it's not wrapped around his neck.
Good grief. Get angry just looking at it.
So you guys get him back to town. There is the Axe Breakers do have a house here in Illinois, but Nasa is out on the road with his caravan. However, his wife is home.
Would
do
it be
we wanna-
appropriate to come by at midnight to the wife's house?
Probably not.
Okay. Do we have some sort of jail or?
No, you guys do not have a jail.
No, but a
could-
magistrate would have the
Yes.
authority to do this if we were to turn this to the magistrate.
The government definitely has the authority to house this runaway, and that is what you'd probably do with him. Is take him.
I
there.
will do that.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
let's do that.
all right. You drop him off. The constables and legionnaires tell you they'll take care of it in the morning. He's put in a
I
cell.
will also give them the
Yeah.
sword, legionnaire
The
sword.
sword. Yeah, we're gonna tell them all that too, right?
Okay. You give him the sword. You give him the whole bit. You turn over all the equipment.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the helm too. Everything.
So
Because I don't know where he's got it from, and I don't want somebody to come visit me in the middle of the night wanting it back.
they tell you that the bow and the helm and the rope and lantern, must be stuff he picked up from somewhere else. The only thing really of value that they're concerned with would be the legionnaires.
I would say that he could have possibly picked it up from those that the bandits, and that gear should be sold with the rest of it to provide restitution to those that lost money.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
Sounds like a great idea.
Sounds good. They they take it under those circumstances then, and you move along, and you go back to your camp. You're welcome back at the camp. Everybody's glad to see you. They ask you how it went.
It went fine.
Who would be in charge of fixing up the human side that needs to be fixed up?
Oh, that would probably
Us.
be a contract the Granitebacks could negotiate for.
Okay, so
Can I negotiate that with the magistrate?
Yeah.
You sure can. So the next day, you let them know that that's what's going on. They hire your clan to fix it, so your clan sends out some masons to go do it, and you make some money for the clan.
Excellent.
Good one.
Yeah, very good one. You are also visited by Lady X Break, who thanks you for returning their slave and lets you know that he's been missing for 6 years.
What?
He said, I mean, like, she probably knows his story, but he said it was not 6 years. How long did he say it was?
I thought he just made it sound like he just recently escaped, like he got separated.
He was captured, and then he recently escaped.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
she says, oh, that's not the case at all. He and 6 other slaves of House Axebreak murdered multiple guards and fled in the night.
What are they gonna do with him now?
Oh, he'll probably be executed.
Put him in the arena. He's such a good killer. Don't let him.
I feel like it's just the same. I mean, put him in the arena, execute him.
Yeah.
It's probably the same.
Yeah.
That is where they'll hold the public execution. How that comes about is, I suppose, up somewhat to the whimsy of the magistrate, but he will not survive.
Okay.
Hey, we did a thing.
We did a thing.
You did a thing.
And I would not mention to anybody what actually happened.
No.
No.
What part? The vultures?
Any of it? Are we still?
Any of
Are
it.
we other than the lady who the madam whatever her name was? Other than her and the vultures, everything went off without a hitch.
Oh.
And the slave, yeah.
And she
are
did
we still
visit your
glowing?
camp today, by the way. She came through and sold some spices and left. She's already on her way to someplace else. But she
Okay,
rolled
cool.
through.
Are we still glowing, by the way?
No, that wore off a while ago.
Okay. Everything went fine. You're glowing. No, everything's fine.
Explodes again.
All right, so you guys did a thing. Is there anything else you guys would like to do before we wrap up this evening?
We should probably have a conversation about what happened. Like the 4 of us, just sit down and be like, okay, so what actually just happened?
Mav would give you the pieces that he kind of figured out, which is that magic doesn't work around him.
As much as Othig doesn't want to talk about it, he'll be reluctant and still do it, but he just all this weird stuff, he's like, I don't know, man. He's not having it, but he'll
I'm gonna have my owl land on his head to see if it affects it.
Okay. Your owl gets sucked into
Awesome.
Mav's head. It starts out, you just think he's leaking a little more sand than you're used to, and then all of a sudden it starts to shriek and flap, and it becomes sand and dissipates, and the magical essence is pulled into Mav's head.
Oh my god.
That is awesome.
I think I just infected you.
Hey, DM, is this where I roll to see if I'm gonna have nightmares about this?
This is where you roll to disbelieve.
Yeah, it's so true.
No, I don't know what would be scarier, watching this owl crumble into some guy's head or living skeletons attacking you. right after your cousin explodes. I don't know.
I mean, I'm a commoner, and I'm of the mindset like this magic stuff's kind of weird. So I don't know.
I don't know. It's
Have we ever run into any magic users, like any clerics or anything like that?
oh yeah. I mean, there's a couple in town. You know, there's definitely magic users around.
Is there any in town?
Yeah, there's a couple in the bazaar who hawk magical services, very low level things. There's a temple.
I would like to write down everything that has happened,
Mm-hmm.
read everything that I wrote, and then go talk to the temple,
Okay.
the priest, and tell them that I read these symptoms and want to know if they have any explanation.
They would tell you that what you're describing is an extraordinary divine gift that common folk call spell eating, but the order calls the gift of the bastion. And then they'd ask you where you heard of such a thing. It's very rare.
I would say that I read it somewhere.
Make a deception check.
To be fair, he did read it somewhere. He just read it in his own writing.
That's
Yeah,
exactly
yeah,
why he
yeah.
chose to do it. Then
Make a deception check.
Oh, you're so sneaky. I get it.
You're not sure he believes you, but he doesn't act like he doesn't.
Okay.
Who did you ask that to?
Did you do this by yourself, Andy?
All the rolls.
I don't know if anybody else joined me in the temple.
I mean, I would
But-
not mind going with you.
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
Yeah, Filbert is trying to figure out how to get his owl out of your head.
Are you like the monkey that's sitting behind, like picking bugs out of his hair?
No, more like that person that's just following way too close, trying to read your shirt.
As long as
So-
it's not the front of the shirt.
No, it's the back of the shirt, and I'm just like staring at the back of your head. And when I realize where we are, I'm gonna ask them if they can help me get my owl out of his head.
Well, that's not gonna be good.
They take one look at you and they look at everybody else, and the cleric is like, "Is that one touched?"
Yes.
Yes.
That's what we thought. He's unusual.
Yeah.
He has his uses.
I'm sure he does. Don't discourage his uses.
But for real though, my owl is in his head.
What owl?
Am I able to just make it poof back? I assume as a commoner I can't do that yet.
No, you can't. It's a 10-minute ritual that costs 10 gold to get your owl back.
Oh, he's not actually in there. Is the priest telling me that? Because otherwise, Filbert's really convinced it's inside Maeve's head.
You babble. Make a persuasion check. You're not trying to persuade him. I just want to know how good of an argument you're making to describe where your owl came from. Okay.
Not bad.
17's pretty good. You ramble through some things. You talk about some stuff. You're like, well, I used to do this, and now I make plants grow, and my owl comes from my moon rock. And the cleric just kind of backs up. He waves his hands a little bit, and he says, hold on. Did you summon your owl?
I think it summoned itself.
To you?
Well, yeah, it fell out of the sky, and then I threw it at a vulture.
Just keeps getting better.
Ah. Are you familiar at all with the Fae?
I have no idea. Like Tony doesn't know if Filbert probably learned about it at some point, but that was definitely a book he didn't read.
Okay. You would have been thinking a little bit about it in the last week or so because of the Dryad and a few other things. Like, You would have heard stories
Yeah.
about it. There's like people tell stories about the crazy things that happen in the Fae. And he says, "Here," and he goes fumbling around, and he gives you a box of incense. He's like, "I'm giving this to you in hopes that someday you'll remember to pass along kindness and goodness. Use this incense, burn it, and focus on your owl friend for 10 minutes, and see if it comes back to you."
He immediately sits down and starts smoking.
Not here. Very well. And after 10 minutes, your stone transforms back into your owl.
Sweet.
And then the priest says, "You said it disappeared when it landed on your brother's head."
I'm talking to my owl, so that's
And he looks at the rest of you. "Is that so?"
Sometimes we don't know what he's talking about.
to be fair, you never know what I'm talking about.
He kind of does that thing with his hands where he puts his thumbs together and then he pops all the fingertips together, kind of making a almost a prayer pose.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
He says, "I see."
How far away was Andy when I did that?
Or did what?
I
Summoned
moved.
my owl?
Oh, you're
I
fine.
moved Mav away. Don't worry.
He says, "That's all very interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. Is there anything else I can help you with today?"
Nope. Nope,
Very
I think we're good.
Very good. Feel free to linger. And he goes back about his duties. Anything else you guys would like to do?
Nope.
All right.
No.
Then I
We
think
get a
that's...
level up again?
Yep, you guys get to level up to level 3 commoner. That's where we will end tonight's session. I will leave you in town. Again, you'll have some downtime this week as the Granitebacks continue to do business in Illinois. So we can discuss a few other things online on Discord. And we'll come back at it next week.
Did you see my other last message there, Mike?
I did. That's something that I'm not going to deal with tonight. So...
Okay, just so you know that will likely continue.
yeah, that's fine. And I think that is fine. It's just that's a rabbit trail I didn't want to go down.
Understood.
So, all right.
We gain. What is it? We
You're
proficiency?
gonna get Survivor, which gives
We get
you
the
Resilient
Yeah.
for one of
Chosen.
the saves that your class will eventually get,
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
or that
That
of the
fits
class you chose
um,
from the last one.
from
Yep.
the mouth flavoring.
Yeah. And you go down to 8 hit points. 8
Yeah.
max.
So you get one. You get one stat
Mm-hmm.
and resilient in one of your class
Yeah.
saves.
Yeah. You guys,
Okay, cool.
I might actually give you, there might be a real challenge next week.
I know we're getting to it.
Well, yeah, we'll see. It's like you're level 3 commoners. You guys, that's big time. Thanik over there is going to have what, 10 hit points?
11.
What? Get out!
11. I know.
That's crazy.
I know.
You
That's
could
so-
survive a full crit from a zombie.
I almost did last time.
Yeah, you did, actually. It was real close. Yep. Cool beans, man. Good stuff.
Sweet.
2 weeks of